What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another edition, a little rendition, a little episode of your favorite Tuesday show. It's the Hard Count, hosted as always. It's your boy Connie. To my right, my co-host and lovely friend as always, CJ. How we doing, my brother?
How you doing, guys? All is well. Good Christmas. Happy New Year. About to on the way. 2022. It was a good week. Good weekend.
We'd love
How
to
you
hear
doing,
that.
man?
I hope Santa treated you well. I hope Santa treated you well.
Yeah, Santa was good. Santa was good.
Oh yeah.
Showed a lot of love this year. So shout out,
CJ. If anybody I know deserves it, it was you.
Shout out to the boy, man.
Yep.
Matt, how we doing, brother?
Man, we are doing good. Green Bay got another win this weekend, pushing us to 12-3, one step closer to 1 seed. Christmas also treated me good as well. I hate to flex, but got a little ice on the wrist.
Son said he hates the flex, but pulled up with it. Matt, don't make me go get up and put my watch on.
I know. You guys probably got a lot of great stuff as well. But just overall, it was a great weekend, and looking forward to 2022.
This is a fly guy we got here. Hard count, fam.
CJ. I feel like I got to go put my own watch on.
You guys are all fly.
My son is an icy boy today.
You feel me, bro? I mean, something light.
Oh, wait,
I didn't see it, bro. Who needs the Island Boys, bro?
You got the Italian horn down here. The cross as per usual.
Hey, who needs the Island Boys when you got the Ice Boys?
You know what? You feel me?
TAC fam, we got some drip gods today, bro.
CJ, I know you got some drip. You just be hiding. You're a humble man.
I'm cooling, man.
Yeah. Cool. See, you see that little head? You see that little head tilt right there? He's like, I got it. Yeah, I just don't feel like flexing out here. I don't want to make anybody feel, insecure about their drip. I respect it.
Yeah, doing your thing. I respect it, man. My young guys.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I would say we would get right into it. Obviously, we usually just jump right into the games, but I feel like there's something bigger to start with. And obviously, right before we just came on, I saw the tweets. Everything came over ESPN, the group chats that John Madden had actually passed away. Crazy, absolutely crazy. That was one that was definitely not expected. I guess it happened earlier this morning, and the news had just come out now. Obviously, like I said, the crazy timing because his documentary type sort of thing just came out on Christmas. I didn't get to catch the whole thing. I was at Nan's house. She was chefing up that Christmas dinner, so I only got about a half hour of it. Got to go back and watch it. But just thought we would start off with that. I don't know if any of you have some John Madden moments because here's the thing. For me, I think it just proves being young. I guess I really don't. I really don't have like the John Madden moments. I only have two things. Obviously, I've played Madden literally my entire life. And for one of the intros, you could always hear his voice on that. So obviously the legacy lives on in that. And then the other big moment, and it's basically just because I'm a Patriot fan, is when, that Super Bowl against the Rams, when he's telling Brady to kneel the ball and, they should just take it and go into overtime. And then obviously Brady let them down the field. They end up winning that Super Bowl. But those are like my two actual memories of him. Watching the documentary was really cool too. I had totally forgot that deathly afraid of flying. This man did not fly anywhere. He had the John Madden bus, and other than that, this man was staying on the ground. No flights for him. He had a game in California and a game in New York. Guess what? Hop on the bus, baby. So he had the Madden bus. Just seemed like a really cool dude. All the stories you hear of people, telling them now, obviously, after the news was announced. Just seemed like a genuine dude. That's a lot of people's childhoods right there. Obviously, it was a little bit before mine. So like I said, I don't have anything crazy, with him besides those few little things. But, you just go back and listen to some of the stuff. And he really changed the game for color analysts. It was kind of a, boring little thing. And John Madden came in with all the, drawing all over the place with the teleprompters. Boom. And, with all the sound effects and saying things and, finding out stuff about people and then throwing it into the broadcast somehow. And I got to sit back and watch the documentary a little bit more. Like I said, I only got about a half hour of it, but CJ, I don't know if you had anything on it, because I know that you were tweeting about the documentary as it was happening as well on Christmas. I saw some tweets out of you on that.
Yeah. First off, of course, RIP John Madden, legend, sports broadcasting legend. Just like you said, paved the way for so many, people that we see today, covering the game. He just brought a different feel. He just brought a different personality. He was himself. Of course, started out as a great head coach for the Raiders, and I brought a championship there in '77, and then left coaching and just took the broadcasting role, and it really became its own. And then later on, of course, as we know, like you mentioned as well, turned into the Madden game, which everyone plays now. It's it's a staple football game today. So it's a tough loss in the football community, 100%. I would just think about the Thanksgiving games. Growing up, I'm like 6 years older than y'all, so it's not that big of a gap. I'm pretty sure people
dirt confirmed.
people in their like 30s and 40s, they probably have more fond memories of Madden. But growing up, you're younger. You hear the games, but you don't know it's who it is. And then as you grow up and you start to watch the documentaries and things like that, you just start to appreciate what this guy did. Like I said, he paved the way for a lot of these broadcasters you see today. A lot of these segments that you see with broadcasters talking to players and trying to get the most out of those guys. He started that. He really did. I really didn't know that. I thought they were doing that before he got there. And then, like you said, I watched the documentary. Documentary was great. It really was. Learning about his life and listening to the people that they had in the documentary talk about him. Bill Belichick was in there raving about Madden, how they broke down the history of the game during their meetings together. Troy Aikman was in there, and Joe Buck, all the guys that you see. His family, was also his sons, was talking about different moments throughout his life that helped shape this career. So tough loss, definitely a legend, man, a big time legend. And we're here on Color Cast right now, talking about football, and I feel like he's one of the pioneers of football broadcasting. So it's kind of just a full circle thing. You look at 30, 40 years later, everything that he's done, it definitely plays a role. So RIP to the legend.
Absolutely, 100%. I think you guys hit it on the nail there with John Madden, all the great things that he did. If you don't mind, Anthony, I want to share a screen. There was one of the great calls that I saw from John Madden, which I think was awesome. It was the Larry Allen chase down block where he prevents a pick six. I think it's one of the greatest ones, just because of like the energy he kind of exuberates from it. If you don't mind me playing it.
Oh, go ahead. I haven't seen this.
So you see him chasing it down there, but it gets better.
Rumbling and stumbling.
Larry Allen, I can't believe that. The rookie from Sonoma State. This guy weighs 325 pounds. Wayne Martin batted it. We think Darian Connor with the pick,
and then like afterwards, it kind of just like shows like his chase down, but it's just impressive.
No, I think that was the other thing with Madden too, man. It was just the voice.
Huge man. This guy's got a rocket boost.
Like right here, look at this.
All right, there's the bat by Martin. Right into cut. Allen is still standing there. There he is to the left of your screen. He didn't even get a running start at it. Look at this, folks. 6'3", 325 pounds. His arms like a sprinter. I'm telling you, that's one of the most impressive athletic feats.
No, man, I really think it was the voice too, man. Like it was just like he had like it was a presence to his voice. There's certain people that you hear and you just know that it's them, and he definitely had one of them.
And then it's also I love the famous turducken. Whenever you watch a documentary, he has a turducken where every Thanksgiving he had a thing that you would give out and had many legs there. And then the last thing, just simply like how he just utilizes like boom, like when he would just think of plays like this, then boom, this happens. But overall, I thought it was great.
Yeah, the onomatopoeia was definitely elite with Madden, bro. He was definitely known for that.
Man, CJ throwing out big words out here. All right, we will get off of that, but obviously, sad time in the NFL circle. Obviously, a lot of John Madden stuff out there, people posting tributes and videos and everything like that. So if you haven't checked out any of them, make sure you do. There's a couple I'm going to end up watching after the show that I saw on Twitter, but we got a show to get into as well. And we started off as we always do, people, and I'm not going to mess up this time. Ready, CJ? This was the Monday night football game, not Sunday. No, like I always say. So the Monday night football game, we had the Dolphins at the Saints. And listen, I think there's two main stories that come out of this. And one of them is I can't believe the Dolphins are in the position that they are. They're 8-7. They were 1-7 at one point, I believe. They're the first team in NFL history to go on a 7-game losing streak and then follow it up with a 7-game winning streak. So there's obviously some history there, but I mean, it's insane. And then you look at the Saints too. It's just difficult, man. Like everybody, like I said, CJ, remember that one quote I had? You know what? Everybody's all cool with next man up, but you're only the next man up because you're not good enough to be the man. And they're in that position. They got a bunch of people on COVID. They on their fourth string quarterback. They've used. I think they've used the most players in NFL history by like one player already this year. So we all know with COVID thing, even more players could be used. But it's just Ian Book got sacked 8 times, throws the pick 6. There was just no offense, and you almost got to feel bad for the defense too because they've been playing well throughout the entire stretch. Just the offense can't do anything. Alvin Kamara couldn't really do anything because, like I said, they're on like their 95th offensive line combination. I think they were down to like their 5th string tackle or something like that. It's just a mess. So it looks like the Saints are technically still in the playoff picture with 7-8 because everybody else is like 8-7 situation. But I don't know. I think it's over for them. Just too many injuries, too many things on COVID, and then the Dolphins, man, listen, they've snuck into the playoffs. They are officially a playoff team at the moment. You got to obviously see how things go. That last game of the season against the Patriots is obviously going to be a very big one. I don't remember who they play next week.
Play the Titans.
The Titans? Well, that's a difficult game as well. That is certainly a difficult game. But, yeah, man, the way that the Dolphins turned their season around, unbelievable. And the Saints, it's just too many injuries, too many people on COVID. And even with Sean Payton, who's one of the best coaches of this generation, it's just too much, man. CJ, what did you get out of this game?
Be honest, I didn't watch too much of this game.
I don't blame you, honestly.
It's on 2K with the guys, you know what I mean? But I checked.
Catch a dub or what?
Yeah, dubs only. Dubs only, man. Dubs only. But
playmaker.
Exactly. Exactly. But, I saw a little bit of the game. I saw the pick 6 by Ian Book. I knew this was going to be a defensive battle, even though Tua is, of course, light years better than Ian Book. But, he's not, all world right now. So, Miami's defense really stepped up. They got the turnover that they needed. If you're able to get a turnover on the road and then the turnover turns into a touchdown, in a close game like this, that means a lot. That's exactly what Miami was able to do. You got to give Brian Flores a lot of credit, man. I'm pretty sure there were some Fins fans maybe questioning his job a little bit.
Oh yeah,
during that 1-7 stint. I mean, they may not say it now because it's it's looking swell for them right now. But I'm pretty sure there were some murmurs around. Also, Chris Greer as well, GM of the team. They've really gotten healthy. They've really found their identity at the right time. And you playing great football. I know their record, the teams that they beat. There aren't great teams, but at the end of the day, you got to play who you play. And they've been able to get a W 7 times in a row. It's just a fantastic feat, man, for the Dolphins. Hopefully, as a Pats fan, it's a little scary. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, especially how Patriots are kind of trending in a different direction, and looking like that last game could really mean a lot in terms of not just AFC East standings, but also playoff standings, depending on how certain things play out in these next 2 weeks. So Miami's really doing a great job. Tua's healthy. I think that's also a key thing. Having Jacoby Brissett and these guys out there, it's not a formula for success if you want to try to get in the playoffs and win a lot of football games. So I think Tua's helping his case. I'm pretty sure there's still some doubters, of course, but his best player is the rookie wide receiver that he was teammates with at Alabama, and Jalen Waddle. It's having
top tier touchdown celebration too. By the way, that little Waddle he did.
Yeah, it's elite. It's smart. It's definitely great marketing. He's going to get some bread coming up soon. I can definitely see that on the way for Waddle, man. It's a smart celebration. It's safe. Referees are not on your back, so and he's just a special.
The kids can do it, man.
Yeah,
exactly. Marketing.
Yeah, it's exactly.
What's that Penguin movie, bro?
Man, I forgot. Happy Feet.
Happy Feet, yo. Happy Feet 3, Jalen Waddle.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get a
telling you.
Calm cameo. It's possible, and so he's playing well. He's playing great. Second most receptions by a rookie in NFL history with 96. This guy's playing insane. This guy missed most of the season last year at Alabama with the hurt ankle. Came back, played in the national championship game. This guy's tough, takes shots. Even though he's a small guy, he's like 5'9", 5'10", but he brings so much production to that team. If they could just get some other production from the skill positions, tight end, maybe another wideout, maybe a real running back that's a bell cow that you could really hand the ball off to change the offense at times. This could be scary. They have the draft picks. They're similar. They're really to me, they're like the AFC version of Philadelphia, really. I mean, because they got quarterback. They have a quarterback that fans and maybe the organization is not too sure of, but they have the picks where they can either go get one of these guys like Wilson or Watson, or they can build around the young guys, keep the young contract, and see what you have. So, like I said, credit to Brian Flores, credit to this defense for playing at a high level at the right moment. You want to play your best football in December, and they're doing that. And then for New Orleans, yeah, I mean, it's just been a roller coaster, a carousel of quarterbacks after Jameis went down. Just really haven't had any type of consistency at that position all year. It's tough because the defense is, I feel like, playing the best they've played in a long time. And they've had some really good years where they played well. I saw a tweet out earlier. They said if Drew Brees had this defense, in his prime, Drew Brees would have like 15 Super Bowls or something like that. Some type of, of course, hyperbolic, but I mean, he would definitely be in contention because there were some years where he was throwing for 5,000 yards, 5,000 yard seasons, and the defense was dirt. So, for them now to, have a great defense, they just need the quarterback. It's the reverse now. So I saw, I saw the Photoshop edit with Russell Wilson in a Saints uniform, and of course the discussions are circling now amongst that topic. But if they could get a guy like that, I think it helps them tremendously. But because you got to keep that great defense, I don't even know if they're ever going to keep that coach, Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator, has done an excellent job with that defense as well. So, 7 and 8, it's kind of like Belichick a little bit last year, where you had a lot of injuries, you had a lot of things going on, but you have a great coach, and you're still able to be in some games. And if they're able to just get that right guy at quarterback, they could definitely be in a position to succeed next year.
Yeah, 100%. I think you guys pretty much hit the nail on the coffin in this game. I think it's one of those to where we saw the more upward trending team in the Miami Dolphins, and we saw the downtrend team of the New Orleans Saints. And to be honest, you could say the game, was pretty much over and Ian Book's second ever pass, which was the pick 6. And, it's one of those to where, like, the things that you want to do as a rookie quarterback is you always want to give them the best chance to succeed, and the Saints did not do that. Your O-line lets up 8 sacks. You are in for a rough one. There really isn't anything you can do there. Tua did turn the ball over, but it was only once, so it's okay. And you got the win, but, it's one of those where you're right, CJ. That Pats-Dolphins game, if you were to tell me that, 5-6 weeks ago, I would say, oh, that should be Pat's easy money. But now it's looking like, oh, man, this game could potentially decide who could make the playoffs and who could miss the playoffs. Like, it's that close.
It's crazy, man.
So we'll see how that goes. But the one thing I will say going towards the Pats' way is that tiebreaker over the Chargers is going to be very important, especially when you beat them earlier in the season. That's going to be huge. And then on top of that, if you can find a way to beat Miami Week 18, that should be your in. But you never know what happens. NFL is any given Sunday, so we'll see exactly what happens there. But overall, just that Monday game, you're right. It was a snooze fest. I decided to watch that game, and it was just one of those like, oh boy, like for the Saints, man, this just get the season done over. Like you mentioned, Anthony, technically, yes, they got a chance, but be honest, they're finished.
Yeah,
they're done. Their season was finished, to be quite frank with you, when Jameis went down against Tampa. You know, when Jameis went down against Tampa,
who would have thought Jameis would be stability at a franchise, you know?
And you also have to think, Anthony, that might give Jameis some leverage in contract negotiations because he's a free agent after this year. He might pull the card and say, look, man, I had us in a playoff contention, possibly NFC South contention. And I went down, and
you started the year like 5-2, right?
They were 5-2, and they came off a win against Tampa, close to the NFC South, and then they crumbled. They've only won two of their last 8 games. So Jameis is going to have a lot of leverage. You know, he's going to be one of those like, do you want to be eating W's or catching L's?
Yeah, he has some leverage, but he did still get hurt. And you know, if it's possible for them to free up some cap space and get, you know, Watson or Wilson.
They got the worst cap situation in the NFL. The only team, the next team above the Saints is the Packers. But the Saints, I saw a fact, they were like negative like 50 or so million in the cap, and then Green Bay was like minus 37. So the Saints got a lot of work.
You know, they'll finesse the system somehow. You restructure a few deals here or there, all of a sudden you got 30 million.
Yeah. It just depends on the type of urgency that Mickey Loomis.
Yeah, I just looked it up. The Saints have negative $60,990,345 in cap space.
Yeah, see,
and the next team above is Green Bay. They have like negative 37, so almost double. So it'll be interesting. A lot of maneuvering, but you know, hey, if you get let Russ fry. I'm not saying cook because he sucks right now, so I'm saying let him fry. You might have a chance to be in contention.
Well, a team that has basically been knocked out of contention once again, they're kind of alive, if you want to say, in the playoff race, is Washington. I mean, you want to talk about
that game was bad. I had to stream that game, Connie. I had to stream that Sunday night game, and that game was a brutal beatdown. Oh my goodness!
Yo, look at this guy Logan over here, steady dropping bars. King James, Lord Ant, and Matt the Top Cat. Hey, listen.
Yo,
Vic, what's going on, my brother? Merry Christmas, Brody.
So it's Vic, it's not Logan.
Yeah, it's like his like nickname. We call it like Logan. Yeah, but
say less. So Vic it is.
Vic,
I always thought you said a different name, but I can't be out here, getting stuff wrong. So I let you rock with that. But now I know Vic. What's poppin', Slime? But with that, listen, I don't have much on this game. I really don't. Like, the Cowboys destroyed Washington. Like, I guess you kind of should. They were, a 6-8 team before this, or 6-9 now. Cowboys were 10-4. Like, this is, it's a divisional game, so I guess it makes it a little bit more impressive to me because usually, no matter what it is, especially in the NFC East, they're usually close. And we haven't had a repeat winner in the NFC East since like 2004 when the Eagles did it. So it is. I guess that means technically we can bet anybody but the Cowboys to win the division next year, and it would be safe money. If you want to look at it that way. But with that being said, I did Gen Z, solo dolo last night. Josh had some things going on, and I kept getting asked if the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders. And listen, bro, it is. As we got Michael in the color cast, what's going on, Michael?
Michael, what's good, brother?
So Mike,
it's hard, man. Like, their offense had sputtered and been so bad before this, and they have a big breakout game, but it's just because you're playing Washington. So here's my thing. They're in the Super Bowl bubble, obviously, but I take this week as their big test. They're playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals have been sputtering, to say the least. Obviously, we know about the loss to the Lions, and they ended up losing this week as well, correct? I believe. Yeah,
they did. They lost to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, true. So I take this week as their big thing. If they beat the Cardinals, I can say, yeah, they've beaten somebody that's an impressive team, you can say. Because you always look at, oh well, we went toe to toe with the Bucks, and we went toe to toe with the Chiefs, and you still lost. Like you can go toe to toe with whoever you want, and an L is an L. So I look at it, this will be the game that kind of makes the decision for me. If they beat them, I consider them real. If not, I think they're still a possible team, but it just tampers it down a little bit. And listen, it's the PTSD. Let's be honest here. Every year the Cowboys are supposed to do something, then first round playoff loss. Now does that come off as a hater or realistic? I go with realistic. CJ?
Yo, Washington got waxed, bro.
They might have been on some beans.
Nah, yeah, they were definitely on the bean, and that's why Jonathan Allen almost cracked Payne and on the sideline.
This man was not having fun.
Yo, if that fist would have connected with his jaw, I mean, we're talking about all-time world star. It would have been crazy, bro.
He said
world star. I thought you were gonna say, "Come on, man," but
nah, that's more than come on, man, bro. Yeah, if he would have connected with that shot, Shaq, bro, that would have been bad. But I heard they hashed it out, which is cool. But you can't put your finger in another man's face and expect not to get rocked. You know what I'm saying? But the Cowboys, they did their thing. I was definitely shocked at the score. I thought, like you said, divisional game. These games are usually close. Last game was kind of close. Cowboys looked like they were going to pull away early, and then Washington started to pull back up, and that was really because Dak wasn't playing at a high level. I think Dak this game really played excellent. He was giving the ball to everybody. Everybody got love. CD, Coop, the tight ends got some touches.
Lineman.
Lineman got a touchdown. Steele got one in the end zone, which was crazy. Zeke looked like he had some life in those legs.
CJ, like you said, talking about Zeke, I'm sorry, but Michael just said, I worry about my Cowboys when we have to run the ball. Zeke ain't Zeke of old, and I don't know if they would let Pollard do him because, in my opinion, Pollard is the better back. Just some insight from our fellow Cowboy fans.
I mean, I don't
having a party back there. Who's having a fiesta out here?
I don't know if I'm Dolo, brother. So
this is Matt's throwing a party in the crib.
This is the party right here, but we good though. I don't know if Zeke's I don't know if Pollard's the better back. He brings a different element. You know what I mean, in terms of being a little bit faster, but the fact that they started fighting each other because they were losing is shameful. No decorum. Yeah, I mean, they were probably
what's good with the big words today? Decorum? What does that even mean?
Yo, who needs no cap? We got decorum instead.
What does decorum even mean? That sounds
probably means no lie.
That sounds like a place that's not decorated.
Yeah, I mean, he's right on the money. I mean, they were frustrated. I'm pretty sure they wanted to come out and play a lot better than what they did on Sunday night. And like I was saying, Dak did a great job. Dak did a great job giving the ball to everybody. I like Pollard and Zeke together. I think those two combined as a duo, it's kind of like AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. They got some. They feed off each other. They complement each other well. Both of those guys bring different type of elements, so the keeps the defense on their heels. I think it's a great combo. It keeps Zeke fresh. He doesn't have to rush the ball 30 times, 25 times, and then Pollard could come in and do a mixture of things as well. So. I think it was a great move by Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy coming to the realization of adding Pollard to the offense because he's been there for a couple of years now, but he really hasn't made that splash like he's had this year. So big win for Dallas. I mean, this NFC pool, man, I feel like anything can happen. I mean, Bucks have had some injuries as of late that that could potentially hurt them down the road into the playoffs. The Cardinals are trending downwards. The Rams, they look good, but they've had some moments where they've been sporadic also. So I think Dallas is definitely in the mix. If Dak is on, and the way this defense is playing right now, I mean, it looks like they have the best front four in the league easily. I mean, you got Parsons, Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, that's a hassle that you don't want to see down the road. And defense wins championships. However, I know that's a quarterback-driven league, and I know that's it's a lot of great quarterbacks in the league right now. But you're not going to win a bowl if you don't have a great defense. Period. We've seen that over the last few years. Even Kansas City winning their chip, they did enough. They had enough players and made enough plays to help Mahomes during that Super Bowl run. And then we saw what Tampa Bay did last year. So Cowboys look good. They look good. I'm impressed with how they're playing. I mean, they have one of the most complete rosters in the NFL. Javon Diggs, 11 interceptions. I mean, that's
mid.
I mean, listen. I mean, he gives up a lot of yards. That's the knock on him. But in a way, it's like a gift and a curse because, like, yeah, he gives up a lot of yards, but if you throw
Prescott, bro, I'm stealing that, Vic. I'm stealing that.
Washington was not ready.
Whack Prescott, epic,
crazy, and if you don't want to see these guys, you don't want to see these guys come playoff time, bro. Like I said, they have a really good roster, and if they could get everything going, and if Mike McCarthy could just do his job, because he's had some moments in the playoffs where he's been a little choppy in terms of management and time management, game management.
Yeah,
if he could just play his role, Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, big time pickup. It's like one of the best pickups of the offseason in terms from a coaching standpoint. They could definitely have a shot. So I like the way they're playing right now, and I think they're going to be a formidable team come playoff time.
Yeah, I think 100% agree with you guys. This was a blowout. I knew because Dallas was going to win this game, but I think it would be by this much. I would say the only highlight, like you guys mentioned, is Trayvon Diggs getting his 11th interception, which is basically for the first time since about like 40 years. It's like 81, the last time a player had like 11 or so interceptions. And I will say, if Trayvon Diggs keeps this up, he might mess around and win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I know there's TJ Watt, I know there's Aaron Donald and all that stuff, but the last time we saw a guy get 11 interceptions was in the 1980s. That's a good case right there for Defensive Player of the Year. And I'll tell you right now, if Stephon Gilmore can win Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 with the peak of Aaron Donald, I'm sure you give Trayvon Diggs a case as well with 11 interceptions. But like you mentioned, guys, their big test, like Anthony mentioned, will be Week 17 against Arizona. I've always had that game circled on the calendar. Yes, Arizona's on the downward spiral, but they're still 10-5 and they're in the playoffs. You look at this, could very well be a future playoff matchup. If Dallas was a 4 seed and Arizona's 5, you could very well be looking at this as a potential playoff matchup. And I will say, depending on how this game goes, and call this like a prediction, if Dallas loses against Arizona this week, they're going to be a one and done playoff team. They'll be a one and done team if they lose to Arizona. Dallas is, in my honest opinion, only best shot to go on a deep playoff run is if they get a 2 seed. If Dallas can get a 2 seed, that would be their only best shot. And Michael, that's funny how you talk to your owner like that.
Why you say that?
Be a good band in the playoffs. Let's get out.
Why do you say that?
Well, Rodgers pretty much owns the Cowboys. He owns Jerry World. He has part ownership stake in there, and it seems like every time we play Dallas, maybe besides 2016, we've been able to beat him up. And Rodgers has known Mike McCarthy. He was his coach for 13 or so years. So, and we're going to be healthy in the playoffs. But that's only if we play them in the playoffs. But, like I mentioned, it was a blowout win. Dallas, they're pretty much going to rely on this game against Arizona. If they do well against Arizona, I think they could make a potential deep run, maybe win a playoff game. But I will say, if they do get a 3rd seed and they might have to match up with Tampa in the divisional round, I just don't know. I think the best shot for Dallas is to have to play an easy team. If they could find a way to get the 2 seed and get to play either Philadelphia or Minnesota, I like their chances. But if they got to match up with either San Francisco, well, they might have a shot against San Francisco. But if they got to match up against Arizona, the Rams, or Tampa, I don't like their odds. Now, they do get takeaways, but they got 4 turnovers against Tampa. What happened? They still lost. So we'll see what happens. Then again, it is –
there's two different teams right now, though.
I know where you're coming
it's
from,
Brady in the playoffs. He's the boogeyman. When the boogeyman enters the playoffs, he is feared. Tom Brady's a pure menace when the playoffs come around. He's going to be a scary threat. I don't care if Tampa isn't full strength. When playoffs come around in Tampa, and just think, they have a home game, CJ. They don't have to travel on the road. They clinched the NFC South. They have a home game. They're going to be a scary threat in the playoffs, especially if they mess around to get a 1 seed. Watch out, Tampa, because you got home field going through Raymond James. Boy, is that going to be tough. But that's only an if. Only an if.
See, I can understand where you're coming from too, though, because I've always said this when it comes to certain teams that are trying to change the culture a little bit, and the Cowboys aren't exactly trying to change culture, but they're trying to change, the way that things have gone, in the last 20 years. So is it you lose to a good team late in the season, then, you go into the playoffs where you're obviously playing more good teams, and is it a situation where it's like, oh my God, here we go again? Like, we were supposed to win. We're supposed to do this, but, maybe we're down 7-0, 10-0, second quarter. Is it a here we go again moment? Like, this is happening to us again, or, can you fight out of that? And I think we're going to, learn a lot about Dak. We're going to learn a lot about the Cowboys if they can, first of all, win an actual playoff game. Cause like I said, it's been listen, I wasn't even born. So, we'll find out.
Since when?
Yeah, like
since
90,
Dallas won a playoff game,
bro. Like 9. It was in the 90s. I wasn't even a thought yet.
Didn't they beat the
Lions?
No.
I think he meant to say NFC Championship game.
Oh,
they won 3. They won 3 playoff games.
Oh, they have won 3 playoff games.
Yeah, I remember they played the Lions and that question.
Oh yeah,
they beat the Lions and then they beat the Seahawks. That was their last playoff win. Was 2018 against the Seahawks.
Wait, who did the Lions play in that?
Yeah,
I thought that was the Dez catch. I thought that was the Dez catch game.
The Dez catch game was against Green Bay in the divisional round. That was the next round.
Yeah, that was the next game.
That was Green Bay. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, because that was the same year the Lions got screwed too, though.
Yep, they got screwed by the same Cowboys team.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody
that playoff year was crazy because I remember. I don't know how the Lions got screwed, but I remember they got screwed. And then
it was a pass interference call.
Yes,
that they didn't call. Yeah, and they didn't pick up. Man. They picked up the flag. Yeah.
Football's fun, man. I really do love it. But CJ, I think we move on, and I'd say CJ because this is a me and you situation right here. You ready for this? Derek Carr, man, get this man some respect on the name. I'm telling you, they're 8-7. Let's just back it up. Let me not get take a deep breath. Let's back it up though. We got this man dealing with John Gruden. We got him. We forget the Antonio Brown situation that Derek Carr's had to deal with.
Facts.
We forget the Amari Cooper trade that he's had to deal with.
Khalil Mack.
This man breaks a leg on his way to an MVP season, basically. Then he has to deal with Henry Ruggs. They are 8-7. They are right on the cusp of a playoff spot. If Derek Carr gets this Raiders team into the playoffs, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. And they win this game 17-13. Obviously a very ugly game, nothing crazy, but we've said this, divisional games are usually like this. And they end up getting the win. Like I said, they're right on the cusp of a playoff spot, and they still obviously have a chance, but I think Carr might be available after this year. And if I'm a team, listen, do I want Deshaun Watson more than him? Yeah. Do I want Russell Wilson more than him? Absolutely. But those are the only 2 guys I want more. You're going to take Jimmy G over Derek Carr? No, I'm good. You're going to take Jameis over him? I'm good again. You're going to take Kirk? I know some people will. I'm good. I'm good. I'm real good on that. But Raiders win again. No Waller still, which makes it more impressive in my eyes. It's just he keeps chugging along, man. He keeps chugging along. CJ?
Yeah, listen, I'm not the biggest Carr fan. I just feel like, he should get an opportunity at a better organization with some type of structure for all the reasons you just mentioned before you talked about the game. Just been dysfunctional the whole time. He's kind of been the only constant throughout the whole thing. He hasn't played great. He's had some games where he struggled for sure. And they're 8-7 right now. To me, I could be wrong. I don't see them making the playoffs. I really don't. In my opinion, I feel like the Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins are all going to make the playoffs. Because you look at the Ravens, Lamar's injury at the wrong time. I don't know. And then the 2 losses that they have, which could have been questionable depending on whether or not they could have gone for 2. They're trending downwards. The Browns, they get in their own way. Their offense is entirely too stagnant. Even though they run the ball, but Baker's just not healthy. He turns the ball over. I just feel like it'll be those four division winners, and then I think the three teams will be the Colts, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. Will be those three wild card teams. I just feel like all seven of those teams are really those would be the AFC teams. The Raiders, 8 wins, had started the season really well. Then the Gruden situation popped off. I just think this year it's not it, and I think Carr is definitely right there, definitely a third quarterback in that list of guys that could potentially be available in the offseason next year. So they have good wins, and then there's other times where they just look terrible. They played the Broncos, they don't have a quarterback, so not that impressed with that win. And they're honestly in the same boat. They need a quarterback, and they have some solid wins on their schedule this year, but it's just too inconsistent for me to really trust them, and for me to say they're going to make some type of push in these last 2 games. So hopefully Carr can find. It depends on him. I mean, he could stay for another rebuild and regime, or he could leave and say, I've had enough. I want to go to a place with some structure where I don't have to do everything. I could just do what I can and help the team win, similar to a Stafford type thing. So to me, I would take the latter, because you only get so many opportunities to win, and you don't want to look back in your career like, damn, I wish I would have went to this place, or I wish I would have forced my hand and try to go to this team to try to win, as opposed to just staying in a place where honestly they haven't been successful since we've been alive. I mean, it was like what, 2002? I mean, it was the last time they had a real run. Rich Gannon and those guys.
I was in diapers.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I'm saying. I was 8. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and then like 2016. But then after that, it's been pretty much
2016.
dry water, not dog water, just dry because they're in a drought.
Right, exactly. It's been 4-12 and 6-10 years. Like, it's just not good enough. So if I'm Carr, I'm weighing my options, man. It's definitely Steelers available. There's some teams out there that have the pieces and they just need a guy. He could be a guy, and then the questions will be. Then it'll be on him to step up and try to get those teams to some playoff contention.
So I will say, CJ, you make a great point. Carr in a Steelers uniform, that'd be pretty interesting. It'll be pretty interesting how they'll work that out. But yeah, overall, this game, I'm going to say it was just the battle of the QB. And clearly, Derek Carr was better than Drew Lock, and it showed in this game. I will say, CJ, I would love to see the Raiders get in the playoffs, but the last 2 games are too tough. You got the Colts on the road at Lucas Oil next week, like you mentioned. You got to worry about Jonathan Taylor. He's basically playing like an MVP right now. He's probably going to be, like in the third place running for MVP. It's probably Rodgers, Brady, then Jonathan Taylor as like the 1, 2, 3. And then you got to play the Chargers next week. I mean, week 18. It's going to be very interesting to see, what kind of happens there. And then, you look at, and then just other teams as well as a whole, you got the Dolphins. The Dolphins season, in my honest opinion, will pretty much be decided week 17 when they play Tennessee. I think if they lose to Tennessee, I think their season's done. But, if they could beat Tennessee, then that week 18 matchup versus New England is going to be very important, because that could very well decide who's the 6th seed and who could potentially be the 7th seed. So we'll see what happens there. That'll be something that we'll discuss in the future. But overall, it was a great win by the Raiders. You guys are correct. They are literally hanging on by a thread. I mean, we thought it was going to be like the repeat of the last 2 years. Start out hot and then, end cold, man. They started out hot. They were cold, had a big win against Dallas on Thanksgiving. And now, these last 2 weeks had a big win against the injury-riddled Browns. And now this week against the Broncos. And, you can only play the games on your schedule. And so far they keep on chugging along. And if a team like the Dolphins or the Ravens again slip up, the Raiders are right there. If the Raiders could find a way to pull off an upset in week 17, they're going to be right there in the playoff picture. So definitely going to be exciting. This is the exciting part about football. When it gets week 16, 17, now week 18, this is, in my honest opinion, better drama than The Bachelor or Bachelorette. Because The Bachelorette's all just fake stuff. This is real deal.
What you know about The Bachelor, Matt?
Oh, I don't know nothing about The Bachelor. I could care less. I
never got into that show, man.
You know what? It's all about a girl like, oh, I'm gonna pick my future love, and then we'll divorce like 3 months after. So it's like, you just wasted your time on your show. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I never found it interesting, man. I always just change the channel or something like that, bro.
Yeah, it's boring. Like I would
CJ,
I would rather
you
watch.
literally, CJ, I literally heard you had a poster of The Bachelor in your room, bro. What are you talking
Nah,
about?
dude,
Come on.
he got the New York Knicks and the Bachelor's on the Knicks. He'd have Patrick
Bro.
Ewing, Charles Oakley.
I heard that.
With,
I actually also heard
with
that
Pat
Matt
Riley
applied
right
to be
next
on
to
the
him.
show. Matt actually applied to be on the show. I heard too.
Nah,
Crazy.
dude, Caleb Skinner did. You kidding me?
Well, that I can totally believe. That I can totally believe.
I can't name you one of those guys or girls, man. Power to them though. Keep getting them checks.
Yeah, go get that bread, and then you know find your so-called love, and then divorce after like not even a year, and then do it all over again. Repeat the whole process.
Let me tell you something. They bad though. We move
Yeah.
on.
They bad at finding the right man or woman.
Hey, listen. That's a them problem.
All facts.
Steelers at the Chiefs. Just bro, like this is another game. Like I'm gonna be real. I went to B-dubs with the boys for the 4:00 games. This was on. Didn't pay attention. Like this is textbook why Big Ben got to be, that
is
old
retiring
yeller.
after this year.
That's old Yeller right there.
Old Yeller.
Gotta go behind that barn and take care of business.
Senior citizen Ben.
This man runs
looking like Lenny and Of by Some Men.
I mean,
man, great book by the way.
I had to read it in high school. Couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in it because I don't read.
Tough.
Hey,
I watched the movie though.
You said what you said, Matt?
More
no,
of
I'm
an
saying
eye test
you read football stats.
That's it.
Not really. Not really. Trust me, that's been determined too. But the Steelers get blown out in this one, and as each week passes, the Chiefs look more and more like the Chiefs. So it is definitely another scary situation for the AFC.
Ridiculous.
I don't know the teams. It's weird. I think the team that has the greatest chance of beating them is the Colts, because they can keep them off the field. And obviously you beat a great offense by, not allowing them on the field. And you're going to have a 8-10 minute drive of Jonathan Taylor running the ball at you. And then Patrick Mahomes makes one mistake or 3 and out. That's doom for the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean, listen, Big Ben is out after this year. They got to go and find a quarterback. They have talent, but they also have to rebuild that O-line that's doing Najee no help, which I still believe he's like 6th in rushing yards this year, with that trash offensive line. So very impressive out of him. I don't know if it was rush yards or just scrimmage yards. Old man Rufus. Oh man,
Roethlisberger.
this guy Vic, huh? But yeah, the Big Ben's done. They still have some pieces though. Like I said, Najee, Deontay Johnson. They got Mr. Corvette coming back next year. I would assume maybe. I think he already signed.
I'm sure he's unrestricted. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe they don't bring him back. They got Mr. Celebrate Chase Claypool. Their defense is still actually no, their defense is kind of mid. So they need some help, and they don't have the greatest cap situation either. I don't believe. Matt, I don't know if you still have that pulled up. If you could tell us, but
let me pull that up.
It's just not looking pretty for the Steelers. They're probably done as well. And then, like I said, the Chiefs are kind of in a situation where it's getting
the Steelers are 10th in cap space. They have $44,420,163.
Okay. You can go out and get a quarterback for that money. Maybe a little Derek Carr, like CJ said. I would like that. You got to try and find offensive linemen probably in the draft. But yeah, they need some pieces. I don't think they're, crazy far away from being able to compete again. I mean, obviously they're 7-1 this year, so it's not like it's a total rebuild. It's kind of a retooling situation. But not much from this game besides the Chiefs are looking good, and it's old Yeller Big Ben.
Yeah, not too much for me. You said you think the Colts will be the biggest threat to Kansas City. I think that's a good point. That's a good point for sure. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor being a beast, and he can keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes, and that high-powered offense. I would throw the Bills in there too, because I mean they have the quarterback to go toe for toe. And even though they don't have a elite running back, they still have Josh Allen could run. He's an elite running quarterback. So he's a guy that, we saw Sunday just, kill drive, extend drives and kill drives for the Patriots on Sunday. So, he's that dynamic with his feet, his ability to run the football. So I think those are the two teams, man, that are going to give Kansas City the most problems. But if it's an Arrowhead, it's going to be tough. It's going to be an Arrowhead. I mean, they're going to wrap up this first seed right here, and that's a tough environment to play in. Packed crowd, got the whole crowd doing the chop and all that. So it's going to be wild territory, and they've been there already. They know what to do, and when you have that type of experience, it's a tough team to stop.
It definitely is, and just kind of for the Steelers-Chiefs game, you guys are absolutely right. The Chiefs were going to win this game handedly. They did. Roethlisberger, it's pretty much on his last legs. I mean, even you look at his final two games, you got the Browns at home, and then you're at the Ravens, your final Week 18 game. I just don't know. I mean, I was very bold. I gave out a very hot take on my sports podcast like an episode or so ago. I said that the Steelers would win the AFC North.
You said it right here. Oh, no, you said it on Gen Z. You said it on Gen Z. That's what you said.
Either one of those, I was dead wrong. Because I saw what Burrow did to those Baltimore Ravens, and boy, even Edgar Allan Poe would roll in his grave after what he saw. Those Ravens got demolished by the Bengals, so that might be wrong there. But
Edgar Allan Poe, wow.
We're basically an English class on this show.
I know. That's what I'm saying,
we're pulling out of mice and men. We're pulling out big words. We got Edgar Allan Poe. It's just.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's just one of those where the Steelers, if all honesty, is just these last two games, just play with pride. Just if you could win, great, and if not, try not to lose 36-10. Maybe try and lose 36-28 or maybe 36-33. Just one of those. But Ben, first ballot Hall of Famer, whenever he hangs it up after this year, and hey, who knows? Maybe spoil whatever hope the Browns have, which is very slim. And if you want to spoil the running back Lamar Jackson, then by all means go ahead and do that as well. I mean how fitting would it be if Big Ben's final game, Week 18 at the Ravens, they would do the same old Ravens stuff and choke in the final game? Why not try that out? So
not with MVP Lamar Jackson though, not nice.
We'll see. We'll see what happens that Week 18 game. Who knows? Maybe both teams would already be already be eliminated by the playoffs, and it'll be going from there. But overall, just Chiefs being the Chiefs, it'll probably have to go through Arrowhead once again. And if the Chiefs are back in Super Bowl 56, that's because they won 8 straight games going into this point.
That's tough to compete with. Listen, this game, fantastic ending, and that's the only part of it I watched. I can't lie. Once again, this was a 4:00 game. Was out with the boys, and it came down to the very end. Bears go down the field, score that touchdown. They end up going for 2 because they have nothing to lose. They're 5-10. They've been eliminated since about week 1 of the season. Let's be real here. And Nick Foles out here throwing dots to a former Patriot, by the way, Damiere Byrd, makes an unbelievable catch in the back of the end zone. I can't believe he got his feet down. He was being carried by like 3 Seahawks. Just carry the man out of bounds. Like, what? I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, he got a foot and a knee down.
Yeah,
which counts as 2 feet.
Well, he gets whatever he needed down, and then ends up counting. Then the Seahawks had a little bit of time, but they obviously could not end up going down the field. Watch the Steelers clinch a wild card slot.
That's Wiz Khalifa, bro. Come on, son.
Yeah, come on. How you about to disrespect Wiz Khalifa? That's one of my guys. Love Wiz Khalifa.
Shut up, Wiz, man.
That's in my top 5 artists, bro. I love Wiz. Big Wiz fan. But yeah, the Seahawks couldn't go down the field and end up scoring. But that's just the story of their season, man. They got some stuff to do over there in Seattle. They obviously don't have picks because they traded them away for Jamal Adams. Great trade, by the way. You really know what you're doing over there in Seattle.
Traded for the Blitz boy, who only has 1 more interception than Vince Wilfork. What a guy.
That's crazy. Big fan of Vince Wilfork, though, so it's okay with me.
Shout out Vince, man.
And don't sorry to interrupt. Don't worry, Christian, on Colorcast. We'll get to your Ramalees. Don't worry.
Facts.
We'll get to the Ramalees.
We know, Christian, got to talk about those. Christian, you missed your opportunity to talk crap about the Cowboys for your second night in a row. I'm a little disappointed in you. I mean, I'm sure you'll still do it, but, it's okay. But, yeah, the Seahawks have a lot to do. I think I think you got to trade Russ and just start over. Like, I know it's a very difficult decision to make. Might even get you fired if you're the GM. I'm being real with you.
They can't. He just got extended. He's there for the next 6 or 7 years, to 2027, 2028.
What are the odds he really actually stays the whole extension? Like, it never happens anyway.
Maybe give him 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, if they trade Russell, if he misses on some draft picks, then you can fire him. But I think that's what they have to do. I think they have to trade him. I would end up trading Bobby Wagner. Keep some of your offensive pieces.
It's clean house.
I think what? I think the only people you keep are like Dwayne Brown and DK. Like everybody else, if I get the right offer, I would trade them. Why not? Like you don't have anything.
You got a
the
point.
Defense is terrible. The offensive line is terrible. Your running backs are terrible. Your tight end, say it with me, terrible.
Terrible.
Like it's
Dog
not
water.
a good team. And they've been rebuilding realistically for a year now. But Russell Wilson was so good these past few years that he didn't allow them to rebuild because he won too many games because he's that good. And obviously this year he hasn't played his best. He had the finger issue, so he missed some games. And I still think it's affecting him because there's no way that Russell Wilson all of a sudden forgot how to play quarterback. I would assume it's still affecting him.
And just think, Connie, this same team won 12 games. Why? Because you had Russell Wilson.
Exactly. That's why
you won 12
That's
games.
why I think the finger situation is bothering him a lot more than we're being led on to know. He obviously had that surgery, and if you listen to a lot of people talk about it, they say it is a more serious thing. To be quite frank,
I don't even know why he played. I mean, yeah, he came back against Green Bay, but you got to look at that game and just simply say he only played because it was their so-called last hope at a playoff spot, but they've only won 2 games since. And one of those wins came against the low-life Jaguars. So that's like 1 win. You've literally only had 1 win since week 10.
I don't know. Both of these teams, both of the teams are just going nowhere. The Bears are going to fire Matt Nagy. They don't have a quarterback.
Fire Pace too if they're smart.
Oh no,
if they're smart, they fire Pace. But Bears aren't smart, so they'll only get rid of Nagy, and then they'll still be in the same spot with a new coach and Justin Fields. And then they'll be like, "Oh, what's the problem?" Well, you should have fired Pace too, but you didn't.
No, I think they get rid of both of those guys. You have to. You got to clean house.
Yeah, see, that's the situation. That's like the hard thing. Like, it's even with the Giants too, right? Like, you hear that they want to bring back Joe Judge, but they might fire Gettleman. Like, you can't force a GM to have a coach that he didn't hire. Like, when a new GM comes in, they want to get their guys in the building.
Yeah, that to me that says they got 1 more year.
That's bad franchise written all over it.
And then they're out of there. Like, they're gonna get a new GM, and that GM will give them 1 more year. And then if they're not able to, get in the playoffs, then it's time to get my guy in here who I want. We've seen teams do that multiple times. We've seen that happen a lot. But these teams are really, like you said, they're 5-10. They got the same record. They're in the same trajectory right now. The quarterback Russell's gone. He's out of there, man.
All I know is that the Jets are sitting pretty right now with 2 top 10 picks right now.
Yes,
now it's all about if they hit on those picks.
Right, yeah.
They hit on those picks, they're going to be looking pretty good. But if not, they're going to be back in the same boat.
Yeah, you got to hit on those picks, man, 100%, like you said. And, just, flip Russ, get those picks back. I trade Jamal, too. Jamal's not going to want to stay there.
Oh, yeah, I meant to say Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal Adams is not going to want to stay there in a rebuild. He went there to try to win a championship because if he stays in Seattle for a rebuild, it's like the Jets all over again. So it's like he doesn't want to do that. I think Carroll, Schneider, they're going to have discussions with Russ and his agent, see what they want to do, and I think it's very possible we see him in a different uniform come next year.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. I think this game signified the end of the Wilson-Carroll era in Seattle. To be quite frank, I mean that was just bad. Now I will say the 3 magic letters BDN showed up, in Seattle. Some people say in Philly call him Big Dick Nick. I mean, somehow that showed up in Seattle at like the final drive. I mean, only Nick Foles can pull magic out of his ass like that, and somehow it worked. And that's that right there. I mean, if you're the Seahawks, that's bad. How do you blow a 10-point lead to the low-life Bears with Nick Foles? Why? Because Nick Foles' magic showed up. It's like Ryan Fitzmagic, but Nick Foles. So, it's just one of those to where it's a bad loss by Seattle, and it looks like it's the end of an era. Whether I think you got to trade Wilson now. I think I was kind of on the mindset of maybe he stays, maybe not. But after this game, it's like, oh yeah, you got to trade him. I mean, you lose to the Bears in that fashion at home. Yeah, it's the whole thing's getting blown up. The rebuild has to begin. If we're looking at the NFC West, you're not competing with the Rams. You can't compete with the Cardinals. And the Niners have Trey Lance just waiting to strike. You're at the bottom of the barrel. And it's not like it, and the thing that people don't understand, the Seahawks could not afford to have a season like this because they traded that first round pick for Blitzboy. You couldn't afford to have this bad of a season because you traded for Jamal Adams to go all in last year and this year. And that backfired miserably. Now, if you want him fired, John Snyder, I think you could point at that move. You could point at that move for Jamal Adams and just say, look, you cost us our future. We're firing you on the spot. We might as well trade Russell Wilson. We might as well fire Pete Carroll too. Let's throw our names in the hat for these head coaches, whether that's Nathan Hackett, the Packers offensive coordinator, whether that's Jim Caldwell, whether that's Doug Peterson. You might as well just throw your name in the hat and just start your rebuild. You might as well just blow the whole thing up in Seattle and just start now rather than wait a year too late and then the value just gets lower and lower. Because my honest opinion, you trade Russ on, off season or draft day, you could get at least 2 to 3 firsts out of him. If some team is desperate enough, I will tell you right now, if the New York Giants are desperate enough to trade for Russ, they're at least giving up one of those top 10 picks. One of them, because they got 2. They got the Bears and they got their own. They got a lot to move around. They could give a first. If they fire Gettleman, you could trade a first round this year, first round next year, maybe another player if you want, maybe throw in, Tony or Galladay if you want to, or whatever other player you want.
I mean, Galladay ain't scored a touchdown all year. You might as well not be on the team anyway.
You might as well send Galladay down to purgatory again. He sucks with the Lions, goes to the Giants, is a complete disaster, then go to purgatory in Seattle. That would be disastrous. But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and it's tough for Seahawks fans. But me being a Packers fan, I'm shaking my hands and loving it. Love seeing the Seahawks demise because they killed us in 2014, and I'll still never get over that. So I'm just glad to see the Seahawks slowly withering away to irrelevance.
Well, a team that has gone from irrelevant to very much ahead of schedule in my eyes.
That's smooth. I'm giving you a round of applause. That's smooth transition.
I'm not going to pat myself on the back here or anything, but I really think my transition game best in the business.
It's smooth.
I'm just saying, I'm up there. Just like Joe Burrow was up there in passing yards. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, what a god!
But about what was it, like 525 yards or something like that? Yeah, 525 yards. They blow out the Ravens.
That transition was so fire,
points.
they had to call the police department to see who caused it.
Yeah, bro.
Exactly.
It's going crazy.
Oh,
my gosh.
Whoa. I love seeing the Pats trail behind a New York team. Listen, Bills are barely a New York team. Barely. CJ's giving that face. But yeah, the Bengals blew out the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens just this is another
Ravens are
team,
dead.
Man. They got nothing though. They have nothing.
Just Mark
What
Andrews,
are they on 6 running backs this year? They got 85 different cornerbacks that I've seen.
Josh
so far.
Johnson.
Yeah, we got Josh Johnson out there because Jamar Laxon couldn't play this week because of COVID. Lamar was
Come on, man. Tyler
still...
Huntley did good against the Packers. He deserves to keep his name.
He was looking like Jamar Laxon. That's what I'm saying.
But he was good against Green Bay, though. How are you going to call him Jamar Laxon when he almost got the win? I mean, it's one thing if he played like Ian Book, it's one thing if he played like Ian Book. You could call him Jamar Laxon, but he did pretty good against Green Bay. He got me 39 fantasy points.
Hey, yo.
Come on, he deserves to be.
Oh, by the way, pats on the back for your boy. I went back to back in my one fantasy league.
Congrats, man.
Back to back, you feel me? Matt, actually, it's the league that I invited you to this year. You owe me $10. Just saying.
Oh, all right. I'll send you $10 then.
Run me my bread.
Run me my check, brethren.
You're like a guy the guy telling him to bring me my money.
My money at.
Can't play about the money.
Where my bread at, Tom Brady? Where my bread at?
You can't play about no money.
So he's asking for, man. That's it.
But yeah, listen. This man Joe Burrow out here flexing on people, 525. You know, the Raven defensive coordinator talking about we're not ready to give him a gold jacket yet, and he took that word to MJ. Word to MJ. I took that personally.
That was terrible, man. That's such bulletin board material. Like, you just don't say stuff like that, bro.
Like listen, we know ain't nobody giving Joe Burrow a gold jacket anyway. He's like 2 years into his career, bro. Why you got to say it?
Yeah, he's only year 2.
He's putting that up in the gym. He's got a dartboard with the defensive coordinator's face on and everything.
Anytime he plays the Ravens, he's going to circle that.
Exactly. That's
as long as he's there.
And, you know, T. Higgins out here looking like Randy Moss. It was a beatdown, man. And I think that this kind of sliced the Ravens to not making the playoffs, man. I think they're done. I think the Bengals basically clinched that division as well. I don't think anybody's going to catch them. But yeah, this was what we like to call domination in the NFL world. This was easy money sniper, no KD. You know what I mean? CJ, what'd you think?
Joe Burrow was dealing. Like you said, was that the 4th most passing yards in the game in NFL history? I mean, he was up there. He had a hell of a game, man.
Comeback player of the year?
Yeah, you could put him in there. You could put him up there.
They might give it to Dak just because the Cowboys have 11 wins. We're going to win the NFC least.
You got
Dak.
You're
going to give it to Dak.
You got Bosa. Yeah, Dak, Bosa. Burrow, Burrow got it. Yeah, winning the division. Nobody expected the Bengals to win the AFC North.
Yeah, but the Bungles, like the Bengals are playing so well, the Bungle mantra might, be tossed out like how we used to call the Rams the Lambs. Now we no longer call them the Lambs. They're just the
Although
Rams.
I did say that the Bengals were a borderline playoff team this year, so I almost got it right. If only I fully committed.
They're playing great football. Got to give Zach Taylor a lot of credit. They've had some moments where they've been inconsistent, but honestly, that's been every team really in the NFL so far. Even the teams that are lock-ins for the playoff hopes. And the Ravens, just the injuries. They've just been plagued with the injury bug all year. It's been that way since the start of the season. Losing Peters, then you lose Humphrey,
Dobbins,
then Lamar,
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. And then the list continues. And for them to even be 8-7 is, very impressive. But I just think right now the Bengals are, making their claim. They have a really good young quarterback right now. They have some excellent skill positions around him, including running back and Joe Mixon. And that defense has been playing well also. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the defense. They don't get a lot of credit. Like, they don't have a lot of household names, but they got some guys that make plays. And so far this year, they've done excellent. And, who knows what could happen depending on who they match up with come playoff time. They could possibly get a playoff win and see where it goes from there. But very impressed with Zach Taylor and what he's done and what this team has done. Burrow's healthy. He looks good. The offensive line is held up. We all talked about the questions and whether or not they should have went with Chase or Penei Sewell. And, those questions have been answered right now.
I'll take an L on that one. I'll take an L.
No,
yeah,
I'll take one too.
Yeah, I mean, again, people saw him tear his ACL, and you get scared, and the Bengals' offensive line hasn't been great, but they've done a great job this year keeping him upright, and he's been diamond. He's been throwing dots all season, and this game was just a testament to that. And then they look good, man. Got to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, man, just a complete, utter domination. I like to throw out a comment in the color cast that Christian said. He said, Bengals are lucky McVay taught Zach Taylor how to offense. I mean, you might be right. I mean, the Bengals offense is looking very well this year. Burrow's been staying healthy. And I think you're correct, CJ. This game pretty much solidified the AFC North. If you want to talk about a clinching game, that game right there sealed the AFC North. Now, it's not official, but you can pretty much write it there, Bengals AFC North champs, because the Ravens, they got to play the Rams next week. That's going to be a brutal game. And then you got to close it out with your division rival Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know. You're probably going to roll out Lamar Jackson's pretty much last legs these last two games. I wouldn't be shocked if he wouldn't play. I think the Ravens are just going to throw him in just because of the simple fact of we got two games. We're hanging on by a playoff spot by a thread. Lamar, just power through with your ankle. Just give you a bunch of painkillers and just go through. Just try and get us 2 wins and go from there.
You think that's the best situation though? Think they should do that?
I think you have to if you want to, because I'll tell you right now, if they don't make the playoffs, it's a bit of a tough hit, for the Ravens, because you had all this expectation going into the season. And to kind of fail on the expectations, it's kind of a little disappointment. Now, obviously, injuries, they do happen.
I got a question. I have a question that I've thought for like a week, but I don't. It might come off haterish because it's me, but I don't think it is. If Lamar isn't a mobile quarterback, do you think he plays these last 2 weeks, or like he would have played the 2 weeks he missed, and then these 2 weeks left? Because if you think about it, is he not out there because he can't play his game, or is it that bad that he just can't play in general? Because like I almost wonder if he's a pocket stationary quarterback, if he could have played with the ankle, but because a big part of his game is running around, that they didn't want to put him out there.
I think it's because it's a big part of his game. Look, if he would have been fine just as a mobile quarterback, we would have seen him play against Green Bay week 15. We would have seen him out there playing the Packers week 15 if he wasn't a mobile quarterback. But because him being mobile is pretty much his entire MO, pretty much his entire game, he's not in. And even against Cincy, I thought for sure he was going to play against the Bengals. I thought, you know what, tough loss against the Packers, but you got a freaking division game against the Bengals. You got to suit up. I don't care what kind of injuries you have. I saw Rodgers do that for us in 2017. Our season was pretty much on the brink. We were about 6-6, maybe 7-7. Rodgers on basically his last leg with like one functioning arm because he had a broken collarbone, goes up against Carolina and basically tried everything he could. Obviously, we fell short in that game, but he gave effort, and the effort was there. Lamar, like Aang, he pretty much vanished when the Ravens needed him most. Why? Oh, because of a little ankle injury. Well, we'll just run the ball. Coordinate a run-heavy game. I don't care that you're down to your last leg on your running backs. That's on Harbaugh to better manage the game, man. And we look at – can we be quite honest here? What has John Harbaugh done since he won a Super Bowl? Missed the playoffs pretty much every year. Lamar Jackson comes in, and they've pretty much been playoff disappointments besides last year. So you might throw in the pedestal, what has Harbaugh done as a head coach since the Super Bowl win? Nothing. So
what are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, for the Ravens, this year, they have to make the playoffs or else Harbaugh's legacy might take a slight hit. Now, I won't say a big hit, but you might – it's crazy to say. It's crazy to say. It may be a hot take, but you got to be honest. He missed the play before Lamar showed up. He was known for missing the playoffs on the last game of the season. Hence my joke that I threw in earlier that the Steelers might play spoiler like the same old Ravens, but that might have zoomed through some people's heads. And just overall, I'm just not quite sure about this Ravens team. The AFC North is getting slightly better. The Browns, they have a down year, but if they could find their quarterback, they could be up there. Cincinnati seems to be on the right tread going up. And Baltimore, they might have to get some things. Maybe a slight trade here and there, but you might have to make a move. I know it's a hot take. It's a hot take, but
yeah, it's flaming. I just feel like it's flaming because it's not that many good head coaches out there, bro.
Well,
And,
no, I'm not saying you move on from Harbaugh. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying you kind of look at him and just say, hey, look, man.
I think
Your last Super Bowl win was 2012, and you won 14 games one year, and you were one and done. You kind of need to kick it up a little bit. We don't want to waste Lamar's rookie contract on no Super Bowl, so you better pick up the speed a little bit, pal. That's all I'm saying.
They're going to waste it already because he's probably going to get an extension after this year. His rookie contract's done.
I think this season you gotta call it a pass. You have to. I mean, there's just way too many injuries.
Well, teams have dealt with injuries and have succeeded. Look at the Green Bay Packers. We've lost 3 All Pros, and we still have 12 wins. Now, granted, we still have
but you're getting them back. They're not. The Ravens aren't getting Marcus Peters back.
That's the thing too. 3 All Pros is different than 14 defenders.
Right, bro. They've been the most injury plagued team all season, and and then when they were winning, we're like, how are they winning with all these injuries? I mean, it's gonna catch up to you eventually. Teams will get better, and then Lamar gets hurt. So I mean, I see what you're saying. You definitely maybe at next year if they're healthy, and then and then they're like the 3rd best team in the division, when it should be 1 or 2 behind obviously the Bengals now, and they've taken that leap. Then I think you could start asking that question. But you look at Tomlin. Tomlin hasn't won a Super Bowl in 2010. Nobody says, and he's been barely treading water.
His only relevance right now is he's been 500 his entire career. He's never had a losing season,
and that's going to change. That's going to change this year.
Hey, you never know, CJ. They could pull a magic out of their ass and go 1-1 and go 8-1.
Yeah.
You never know.
It could happen. It could happen. It could happen, bro. But
it might be tough because you got to play the Browns and the Ravens. But I mean, hey, you never know. The Browns look like the same old Browns.
Michael in the chat says the real question is Hollywood Brown not at all.
He's a receiver too. Let's be honest here. The main target in Baltimore has been Mark Andrews,
bro. Yeah, I'm saying 3, bro.
So you're saying it's Andrews, Bateman, then Brown.
No, I'm saying on a normal team, he's a 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Normal team, he's a 3, but I'm saying on the Ravens, he's a 2. Mark Andrews is the number 1 target. Look at what he's done the last 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
I mean, against the Packers, he put on the clinic.
God mode.
And then last week, he puts on another clinic. So, yeah, the no one target is Mark Andrews. But
Hollywood Brown would be the Pats number 1?
Probably.
I mean, may not be wrong. The Pats don't have good receivers. When's the last time we had a receiver? Randy Moss. Nah, Julian Edelman. Let me not disrespect my son like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're thinking about Julian Edelman there.
Love my man. Big fan.
But yeah, just overall, Bengals big win, clinch the division. Ravens, season is over.
Free N'Keal. My God, bro.
Oh, ain't no way somebody said free N'Keal Harry. Ain't no way. Did you see the Butterfingers drop that he had? Ain't no way. I just heard a free N'Keal Harry. I'm like Booker T.
If there's anybody that needs to be freed.
I did not just hear that.
If there's anybody that needs to be freed, it's me from him because he is trash. This man, N'Keal Harry,
so bad.
The only reason he should ever be allowed on the field is if it's a running play because he can block. Other than that, he shouldn't even be allowed. This man shouldn't even be allowed on the bench if it's not a run play. He should have to stay in the locker room.
You can't slide him to tight end, Christian. You already got Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith.
Well, Jonnu Smith forgot how to play football this year, obviously.
Well,
Josh McDaniels for about the 18th time, said he's got to get Jonnu Smith involved into the offense. Yeah. How about we actually try it this time? CJ, why don't you take us home, brother?
So we got a disappointing loss here from the Texans.
Disappointing.
And the Chargers. Chargers came out.
No, sorry. I just read Christian's comment. He said, your offense without Brady is as imaginative as a brain-dead car accident victim. That's
we got a rookie quarterback.
The Pats are 9-6 in the playoff spot.
Listen, Christian.
That's for the top rope.
Rams had the same poverty offense before they got Stafford, bro. Goff was
and then you also saw didn't your guy Pat Stafford throw 3 picks to the Vikings? The Vikings.
Pats played Vanderbilt this year per sources. Christian. Christian. Ready?
Hey,
Ready?
man.
And tell how'd that last Super Bowl go? That's what I thought. That's all I got to say. Okay? How'd that last Super Bowl go?
You can say the last two.
Yeah, actually, yeah. How'd the last 2 Super Bowls go?
Started the dynasty and
Sheesh.
finished the dynasty.
Exactly. Still have a better record. That's okay.
I guess.
By only 2 games. That's
That's
not really something to
okay.
brag about.
We'll see. Listen, Christian, is all this going to matter? Is all this going to matter if the Rams don't win the Super Bowl? No.
Oh no!
You'll
You want to be the most hilarious?
You'll be in the
thing?
same corner crying about your Ramleys and how
Anthony.
Aaron Donald is this and how Jalen Ramsey is that. We would Brittany Renner the pass? Nah, see, you're out of pocket. See,
Crying.
see, you got issues, Christian.
No. You want to know
would
the
hope so.
funniest thing?
You got a stacked team, Madden team. Like I would hope they would, bro.
Hey, Connie, you want to know what would be the funniest thing? What would happen?
Bill owns McVay, his daddy.
Yeah. I would say, you want to know what the funniest thing? What would happen is if the Rams make the playoffs and they got to versus the Cowboys. Could you imagine if the Cowboys?
I might actually
the
have
Rams?
to. Nah, I couldn't root for the Cowboys. I couldn't do it, but it would still be funny to talk to
I'm
Christian
just
about
saying.
it.
Could you imagine if that would happen though? Just the whole football chat would go off, and then
This man Christian said we're the only 2 teams with a solid legacy coaches in the NFL.
Mean?
Bro,
What is Sean McVay? Sean McVay doesn't even have a Super Bowl ring. How are you going to say he's part of a legacy if he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring?
Are you witness protection?
you said
if the Cowboys beat the Rams, they'll go to witness protection.
You know, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Oh, he'd have to mute the chat. He'd have to mute calls from Perry if the Cowboys beat the Rams, because Perry will be all over him.
I think Christian already mutes calls from Perry, bro. They've grown up together. There's no way that he hasn't gotten sick of that already. He can remember the play he ran as an 8th grader in PE when he's gonna win. Listen,
oh man,
crazy time.
Hey,
CJ, like I said, take us away.
How the Chargers chartered themselves against the Texans.
Yeah, this was definitely a disappointing loss, man. Connie and I both had Chargers winning this game easy. Especially coming off the L to the Chiefs, and then Davis Mills comes out there and just pieces them up. Yeah, I've seen the memes already with the 4 teams that
he puts Mike Glennon's neck to shame.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, they're calling him his pops. Yeah, Glennon his pops and everything. It's getting wild with the neck references. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
There you go.
But I'm just saying. I'm just calling how I see it. I'm definitely in the pause category with y'all. But yeah, Chargers.
Mike and Brittany Renner a run for her money.
Terrible loss, man. Terrible loss from the Chargers. Not really too much to say other than they really had an opportunity to control their own destiny in a way by winning this game. But now things are dicey. Like I said, Miami's on the rise. You just got some other teams that could potentially still be in this. The Raiders, we talked about them. They're kind of still in the hunt a little bit. So, Connie, what was your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, to be honest with you, but just looking at it, it was one of those games that I didn't watch because I expected the Chargers to win easily, and then it was weird too, right? Because see if you're with me here, guys. When a bad team is beating a good one, it's like 10-0 or something, right? And you're like, wow, that's kind of weird. I'm still not going to watch it though because they're going to come back, obviously. Like, of course they're going to come back. So, I still didn't put the game on because I'm like, oh, it's 10-0 or whatever, but obviously the Chargers are going to come back and win this game like it's the Texans. And I look at the end of the game and it's, Justin Herbert throwing a pick 6 to, lose the game basically. And it's ugly. Like you said, they had a chance to control their own destiny for sure in this one. It might be difficult for them to make the playoffs now. Like I said, they are the 8 seed, so it is definitely still possible. It just makes everything more difficult. Like they made it difficult on themselves. Obviously, they finished the season out with, if I could actually find
the Broncos and the Raiders.
They finished out with the Broncos and the Raiders. That could be 2 wins. That could be 2 wins for me, obviously. But it's still going to be difficult. Those are divisional games, and we all know how they go. But yeah, it was definitely disappointing on them. You expect better, and this is also the kind of the situation I always get into. Like I say, when they're trying to change culture, obviously with the Chargers, and I always get into the thing of the PTSD almost, where it's, oh my gosh, this is happening again. Like, there's no way this is happening again. We're supposed to be better than this, and how can we let this happen? And then you just get stuck in that mindset, and we kind of forgot. The Chargers are, had that culture because they had been playing well this year. I mean, they were 8-6 coming in this game, controlling their own destiny, going against the Texans team that we all know is bad, and you just expect a win here. And when they don't end up getting it, it's kind of like, oh my God, that's a Charger moment for a second. And, it's also the fact that they missed a lot of people out on COVID. I mean, Mike Williams wasn't able to play. Austin Eckler wasn't able to play. I don't think that's still an excuse. I think they had like 13 people out for COVID. I still think you should be able to beat the Texans. There's no reason for Rex Burkhead to go for 140 on you. But it's definitely disappointing. I picked the Chargers to make the playoffs. I'm still hoping that it happens so I look smart. But, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. That was just a terrible loss by the Chargers. I threw it out there. It was a classic Chargers moment, and it's bad. Your last two games are division opponents. Yeah, you got Denver and the Raiders, but each of those teams are right there in the playoffs too. Denver's 7-8; they could turn things around. You got the Raiders right there at 8-7. Raiders could sure as hell turn things around. And hey, if the Raiders could upset the Colts, looking at 9-7, and if the Chargers don't beat the Broncos, then that could be a switch of the playoff momentum right there. And it's one of those where if you're the Chargers, you couldn't afford that loss. We thought you would bounce back after Brandon Staley basically shit the bed against the Chiefs. We're being quite frank here. He should. Why you going for it? Why you going for it inside the 5, 4th down 4 times? If it doesn't work the first 2, just take the damn points. You can't be, letting
the analytics say not to.
Hey, analytics are good if they work, which is, maybe 50% of the time. 50% of the time, you're a genius. 50%, you a fool. And Brandon Staley, you's a fool. Because why aren't you kicking field goals against the Chiefs? I understand going for it on 4th and goal the first time when you try to throw the pass to the tight end and he gets hurt, but I like that play call. It was there. But the other times, it's just so unnecessary. Just take the points. Just take the points. Take 9 free points, and then you won't have to go to overtime. And maybe, just maybe, you might have had a chance to win the AFC West. But no, you went analytics, and the other 50% happened. And then you lose to the Texans. And now you got to play 2 divisional opponents. Like, Chargers, please, just pull your heads out of your ass. Just stop being the same old Chargers. We want you to succeed. We want success from the Chargers. And they just keep on flexible bursts themselves right now, which is shooting themselves in the foot. You got to stop. Like, just take care of business against the Broncos next week, please. Just put the Broncos out of their misery.
We'll see if it happens. Man. Those last 2 games are definitely winnable, but
can you imagine if the Chargers lose out? Can you imagine if the Chargers lose out those last 2 games and finish below 500? That would be the most Chargers moment of all time.
Yeah, it would be. It would be
to be a game away from first to then being eliminated from the playoffs. That would be a Chargers moment and a half.
For sure. These next 2 games, to be honest,
just tankable.
Lions, Falcons, Jaguars, and the Jets. Yeah, not too much to say, man, about these games.
Hey, Zach Wilson had a nice run, though. You see that nice 52-yard run where we put the juke moves?
Yeah, I did see that.
All in favor of not even talking about the Buck-Panther game in 2. I'm with it.
I'd say
32-6, bro.
I would say that Bucks-Panthers game signified the end of the Cam Newton era as a starter. That ship sailed. I know Josh Lenars wasn't on Gen Z, but if he was, I know Connie would have roasted him and just said his era is finished. Just either retire or be a backup, because that's all you are, Cam. All you are.
Well, you see, the other thing too is
and the thing is, I'm sorry to interrupt. When he said I'm back, he didn't mean he's back to 2015 form. He means he's back to the bench. That's all. That's all he meant.
This guy's catching shots.
Like the thing for the Panthers too, though, is like they decided, oh yeah, we're gonna go with the 2-system, quarterback thing.
And when you also
when does that work?
When you also got Ghostman as your quarterback, I mean, the Panthers got no QB.
Ghostman.
You got Ghostman Sam Darnold. Yeah. You got an XFL MVP in PJ Walker, and you basically have the last legs of Cam Newton. Those aren't winnable quarterbacks. Like, I'd rather have Teddy Two Gloves than those 3 QBs.
And they let him go to the Broncos.
Yeah, because they thought
CJ, you would rather have Teddy than them?
I would have none of the above.
All right, but you got to pick one.
I swear, if they had Teddy Bridgewater, they would not be 5-10. If the Panthers had Teddy Bridgewater, they would literally be on the same level of the Philadelphia Eagles, 8-7, 7-8. They would be right there.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Without McCaffrey?
Yeah, without McCaffrey, they would at least be borderline 500. They wouldn't be 5-10.
It's not like McCaffrey is the biggest part of their offense.
5-11 last year with Teddy Bridgewater without McCaffrey, bro. No way. This clip, bro. They all suck.
But the defense has played a lot better this year.
Yeah, like the first 3 weeks,
and they're still almost at the same record they had with Teddy, bro. They all the quarter. Pretty much all the quarterbacks are trash. All 4 of them.
They need to get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
they need either one of those 2.
That's easy. I mean, yeah, you would hope so. But yeah, I mean, out of those 4, I don't know, man.
That's it for those games. Yeah, they weren't anything. I mean, hey, the Falcons almost Falcon. Did you see that? Did you see Russell Gage? He fumbled the ball with 2 minutes. And then
actually, the only thing I have to say about the Falcons is this last episode of Man in the Arena was about the Falcon Super Bowl. Loved it.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
I even went back and rewatched the highlights of that Super Bowl. I even went back and rewatched it. It was fantastic.
Any Pats fan when they hear 28-3, their hearts tingle. Anytime you say 28-3, their hearts are.
That's crazy that you said that because I actually did the same thing, bro, last week. Well, a couple days ago, yeah, I watched the full game, the whole game.
Oh, you watched the full one? Oh, I watched.
Well, I went from 28-3 to like the rest of the game. You know,
he didn't watch the part where they fell 21-0 and 28-3.
Nah, I didn't need to. Yeah, I didn't need to.
He just watched from the third quarter.
After the touchdown when it went up 20, and then from there, it's really honestly, bro. I mean. It's really crazy how they came back and won that game.
I still can't, bro. I remember being so mad watching that Super Bowl.
I don't know how
I'm psychotic. I'm psychotic, and I act like I'm actually playing in the actual game. Like before Patriots would play in the Super Bowl, I would actually get nervous.
Oh my god! I can't imagine your reaction when they won. You must have been running around, jumping on tables.
Oh, I was just very thrilled.
Doing things that you might regret in the future.
Oh no, never that.
Not that.
I was a young lad.
You go down 19, and then you kick a field goal, and then you get two point touchdowns with 2-point conversions. Bro. Come on, bro. To take in the OT.
I remember. I literally remember.
That's crazy.
No, and what's funny is that Falcons owner was on the field with 5 minutes left to go in the game.
I paused it.
Was right on the sideline, just waiting.
I paused the game when they showed him, bro. He was his wife looked at him. Yo, bro, he was so sick, bro.
All I know is if I was the owner after that game, fire sale.
I ain't gonna lie. I felt
everybody
bad.
going. I would say you're not flying home. You're walking home. You're walking to Atlanta. You're not flying.
What was it called? What's it called? The mic'd up. Listening to it after
Edelman, right? Edelman was mic'd up, right?
Well, they kind of mic up the sidelines basically.
Oh, okay.
And remember the part where Sanu and Taylor Gabriel are talking?
They said we might score 40.
Yeah, and Taylor Gabriel was like, they got Tom Brady, man. And Sanu's like, oh no, we're not done yet. We better put a 40 on their ass. Yeah, how'd that go?
It went the other way.
Yeah, that was tough, man. But yeah, Buccaneers. The only thing I'll say about this Buccaneers Panther game is Antonio Brown. Look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a
whole lot of money is back.
I know he's, he got
Psychotic?
a couple screws loose, for sure. But
That
Screws
CTE
loose.
going crazy.
when he steps on that field, he's a dog, bro. 10 receptions. It looked like he didn't get hurt.
100 yards.
100 yards, easy, bro. So, with Godwin being out with the injury, him coming right back into the fold, it's gonna play a factor. All right, we got a AFC East matchup. Big game. It was a big game. Bills and the Patriots. I'll start with Connie, man. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
Oh no, he had the head up too. That means
first of all, I feel bad. My brother, his girl, got him tickets to this game for their anniversary, and he went, saw now.
Wait, I thought he went to the one in Buffalo.
No, he went to this one. I thought it was one in Buffalo too, but it was this one.
No, I was gonna say if it was one in Buffalo, he saw the ultimate run game. But
I mean, that would have been boring too. Anyway,
was he? Was he one of the people Stephon Diggs yelled at?
No, he definitely not there. Definitely not.
Imagine,
like
that would have been crazy.
Definitely didn't have that good of seats. They were way up.
He was blessed.
Well, exactly. This CJ, see if you follow me here, right? I said it before. I'll repeat it for the people. I was very happy with the 2-2 out of this 4-game stretch that happened. I said that from the beginning. I would be happy with that. I changed my mind. I'm no longer happy. And the reason is, going into it, I was scared of the first 2 games than the last 2 games. I thought the Titan and the game in Buffalo were going to be a lot more difficult than the Colts and the game at home against Buffalo. Now, obviously, things kind of changed right in the middle of that because Titans just started playing absolute crap. And the Colts, Jonathan Taylor turned into, Jesus reincarnated. So it definitely changed my mind.
Henry.
No, he's literally God. So they win those first 2 games. And if you remember, I said that Bill game meant nothing. I said the Bill game in Buffalo didn't mean anything because this one was going to be completely different. And that's why I wasn't that excited that they won. Now, obviously, did I want them to win the game? Am I happy that they won? Yes. But my favorite word, you have to look at the context of the game. When is it ever going to happen again that Josh Allen isn't going to be able to throw the ball? Or the Patriots aren't going to be able to throw the ball either. The 50-mile-an-hour gusts, that's not going to happen. That's not your everyday football game. So they lose against the Colts. Obviously, me and CJ talked about that, which was a very winnable game. And then this one, man, this one felt different only because, and I don't know, CJ, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one. It just never felt like they had a chance. I never at one point thought the Patriots were going to win this game. Like, it always felt like the Bills had the lead, the Patriots would do something, and you're like, okay, maybe they're about to get back into it. And then the next drive is when the Bills would go down, score a touchdown, and be like, okay, never mind. And that's kind of how it was. Max, didn't play a very good game again. That's probably his 3rd game in a row where he hasn't played his best. And we've seen what it is. If he gets behind in games and he has to throw a lot, that's not a recipe for success. For the Patriots, they obviously want to be able to run the ball, play some defense, and Mac's kind of a game manager right now. You can't really blame him for that. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback in a very, not rookie friendly or even veteran friendly playbook. I mean, we've seen it all the time where veterans come in and struggle with the playbook, and it takes them some time to get equipped to it. So Mac is still learning, and I'm not going to sit here and say anything crazy about him because they've gotten to a 9-6 record right now. They're still in the playoffs. But, it's definitely tough that you went from, everybody's praying for the division, talking about the division, to now we're in a wild card team again.
From the number 1 seed.
They were the number 1 seed for a couple of weeks. That is true. But, yeah, man, it was just a tough game. Mac with the interception. You settled for, field goals a couple of times. And they just couldn't get the stops, man. And that's where, we talk about this defense all the time too. And that's where you start getting a little concerned as well is your defense feasting on bad teams or, are they, look at the Cowboy game. Do they feast on that? No, the Cowboys were putting up points and yards all over the place. The Bills did it. The Saints, when their offense was clicking earlier in the year, did pretty well against them. So it's always that question I have as well. But I think the star of this game is Josh Allen, man. Like, he is very good. Like, whether you want to say this person's better or whatever, I don't feel like getting into that argument for the 800th time. I'll say I'm right, though. Just saying. But, I mean, Josh Allen over 300 yards. He's rushing for first downs. He's, the play that really sealed the game was that fourth down where he fakes the handoff runs, jukes out J.C. Jackson, ends up getting the first down. So he can do it with his legs, too, obviously. And, yeah, listen, it had always been that the Patriots own the Bills. Josh Allen's 3-3 against the Patriots in his career. And obviously that first year Brady was still there, so that's a nice 0-2. But last year we got swept by him. This year 1-1. So it's definitely, I think the fact of owning the Bills might be a little bit over now because, listen, not every single time is the better quarterback going to win. But I would say a lot of the times the better quarterback wins and the better team. But I think that having that better quarterback is really the difference maker. And Mac's obviously not on Allen's level. So just a tough game. Obviously, the Patriots have to win out. Now they're playing the Jags next week. I mean, that if they don't win that game by 30, then we got problems. And then they finish the season out with the Dolphins, who we've obviously talked about a lot. 7 games in a row that they've won. Going to be very difficult for them. And especially because that game is in Miami. You remember earlier this year, that was one of the Patriot losses where, Harris fumbled at the goal line when they were going in to take the lead and probably win the game. But it was definitely a tough loss. And it was one of those games that as much as I wanted them to win, I never felt like they really had a chance.
Yeah, man. Connie pretty much hit it on the nail. I mean, this was that was a tough loss for the Patriots. Obviously, now you look at their slow start in the beginning of the season is obviously going to affect them now. Because obviously, you look at before they're 9-6, they started off, I think, at 1.2-4. Like through the first 6 games, they had a bit of a slow start. Obviously, they caught fire, winning off, about 6 or so straight, got up to 9-4. And obviously the last 2 weeks kind of had a bit of a struggle, but now you look at it, these next 2 games will be must win. The Patriots now don't control their own destiny. They're pretty much in a position now of, you got to win the next 2 games. Connie, I do remember I did ask you a question earlier in the year. I asked you what would happen if you lost to the Texans. I believe when they played them like week 5 or week 6, you said, I think you might've stripped the fandom.
I said I would have
Is that the same mindset going into week 17 versus the Jaguars?
Yes.
If you
I can't be a Patriot fan if we lose to the Jags, bro. Can't do it. They just lost to the Jets, bro.
Can't do it. Well, would that be the same thing for you, CJ? Or are you more of like the
no? CJ's not
mindset of
no. CJ's actually a level-headed person, so
I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. So I'm not even.
I will say it better not happen. I mean, if the Pats lose to the Jags, I think Connie might go MIA in the chat for a couple hours.
I'll have some things to say before I go MIA, though.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
We'll probably see Connie rant, but just overall, I mean, I think this game showed that Mac has rookie slumps. All rookies, they have their slumps, and for Mac Jones, these last 2 games, he struggled a little bit. Obviously he made a valiant effort against the Colts, almost came back down 20-0, but JT had a dagger of 67 yards. And then this game, the only highlight you could say is Damian Harris getting 3 touchdowns. But other than that, that was pretty much it. And what's weird is the Pats aren't a threat at home, which is kind of weird. Which is kind of weird for me because I always think of Gillette Stadium as one of the toughest stadiums to play at. But obviously their opponents, their home opponents. Yeah, their home. Well, you also got to think their home opponents have been tough. You had the Cowboys, you have the Buccaneers, you have the Bills. I mean, those are all tough opponents to play. During regular season. So obviously for the Pats, you just hope that they bounce back next week against the Jags, and you probably have to ride off the AFC East now with this loss of the Bills, and you just have to pray that you stay as either the 5th seed or the 6th seed.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you guys. Tough loss. again, it's another slow start to the game. They started off really slow. And you can't play that way. The way this
Recipe for
Patriot
disaster.
Yeah, the way this Patriot team is built, you can't start off slow. The interception definitely hurt. I mean, and to me, it's not really like, okay, the other team has a lead. Matt can't help them come back. It's just the fact that they don't have the talent out on the outside.
Oh,
no. Kendrick Bourne played, but he really didn't get as much touches as he usually gets because of he was really out. He was really out and didn't really practice because of the COVID situation. And then he got cleared. Then he was able to play. Hunter Henry really didn't do anything in this game. Jonnu Smith didn't do anything in this game. Jacoby Myers, good possession receiver, but he's not a guy that's going to take the top off the defense. He's not going to break tackles and go up the sideline. You gotta have those type of talented guys around any quarterback. Like I said, look at Burrow, bro. Look at the weapons that Burrow has at his disposal. I mean, it's crazy. So to me, there was an opportunity for us to come back and win. It was 21-26 before they scored that touchdown. Look at J.C. Jackson dropped the pick. That would have changed the game right there potentially. It was a fourth down. Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, this dude was going off. I mean, Miles Bryant. He made the play of the game and the game in Buffalo, and then the game in New England. He got completely burned. I mean, Cole Beasley out. You think, okay, they're gonna have a guy in there that hasn't.
Gabriel Davis out.
Yeah, you thought, okay, you're gonna have a guy in there that's not gonna have a lot of targets. How
and
will
then
he
Emmanuel
play?
Sanders had Butterfingers too.
Mayor Sanders struggled. I mean, Diggs is going to get his. He's an elite wide receiver. That's going to happen. But then, McKenzie gets 11 receptions for, $120. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then just on key situations. Trust in the system, trust Belichick.
I trust it. I trust. I'm just disappointed,
And then, I mean, McKenzie was really the difference maker. I mean, Allen, of course, Allen is a beast. But I just think Belichick and Steve Belichick, I think they played too much man coverage. When they don't have elite man-to-man corners, they should have went in more zone. And then when you're playing man coverage and you don't have a spy, Josh Allen's going to run the ball. I mean, once he sees that it's man and he sees guys covered, he's going to run. And that's what he did. Look at that fourth down play. That was a great play. Fake the inside, then bounced out, made a juke move on Jamie Collins. And, just killing drives. I mean, obviously that's man-to-man because you're trying to stop the run. And then just other key plays, he's able to use his feet. If you play more zone, you can have some spies up. You can have him stand in the pocket a little bit more and make, maybe, get him off his spot. I think they did that. They did that in Buffalo and New England. They tried to play too much man-to-man coverage, and Jalen Mills is not a great man-to-man corner. And Miles Bryant, he's an undrafted guy and who hasn't really, made that much production. And is really only playing because Jonathan Jones is out for the season with the shoulder. So they need to play a little bit more zone and mix it up a little bit for these next few games and go into the postseason. And then the offense, like I said, the talent is. I mean, listen, they've been able to, when they won 7 games in a row with those guys, but you got to start off well. You got to have a lead. If you start off well and you don't turn the ball over, they're always going to be in a position to win. But having the turnover was crucial. Was a crucial because then Buffalo went down and scored a touchdown there. So, tough game. Definitely looks like the division definitely not going to be New England, but I'm still positive. You know what I'm saying? That we're going to turn it around at the end of the day. Still got Belichick. Mac Jones has to clean up some things, but and then those guys around him have to play better too. I mean, if those guys can't get open, he's not going to force those passes in the tight coverage. You can't do that. You can't those guys have to find ways to get open, and you can't always scheme guys open. You just got to go do it. I mean, N'Keal Harry's not a guy with speed. Myers, not a guy with speed. Aguilar, even though he doesn't get a lot of touches, he could at least run deep routes and take a safety away from plays, and then those guys underneath can make those plays. So not having him was a pretty big loss on Sunday, because even though he might not get those touches that you would expect from him, because he's not a number one guy, but he could take the top off the defense with his speed, and it opens up so many other things for Bourne, Harry, Myers, and Hunter Henry too. He's not a speedy guy. He's a possession guy. So, and it helps Mac. And it helps Mac with some easier reads. So, yeah, tough loss for sure. I mean, there were definitely opportunities where they could have came that last drive when the Buffalo scored the touchdown. There were opportunities for us, 4th and 2, interception drop by JC, but it just wasn't our day. And it's just how I roll sometimes. But they need to clean things up against the Jaguars and get right. And then the game in Miami is game of the year, 100%. Could decide a lot in terms of playoff seeding and who they play, and they're gonna need to tighten up and get right.
Yeah, pretty much facts.
All right, and we got the Rams and the Vikings.
I think I'm sorry, but I think this game just could be a quick, easy gloss over. To be quite frank, Stafford, he threw 3 picks. Vintage Pat Stafford. Vintage Pat Stafford. But the Rams got a win. OBJ got his touchdown, and
by the way, his gritty shit, not even good.
Try to do it all, because of Jefferson on the other side.
He tried to do it because Jefferson, but didn't work. And then Kirk Cousins against good teams falters again. It's just the writing pretty much writes itself. I mean, who thought the Vikings actually had a chance to beat the Rams this week? Who honestly did? I know I didn't. I want to hear what you guys think. But I mean, that was simply a win the Rams had to have. They had it. And now they're in first in the NFC West and control their own destiny. And the Vikings do what the Vikings always do: let their fans down, give them a sense of false hope, and now they're 7-8.
Yeah, pretty much. Not too much to say about this game, man. Honestly, Rams just continue to win. They find ways, and
I do love how OBJ is getting involved and getting touchdowns. I think we now know the real problem in Cleveland and who it is.
Of course, yeah, it was, yeah, bro. I mean, you got to throw Stefanski in there too. It's not all Baker. I mean, Stefanski's the guy that calls the plays. So, but it's both of those guys. The quarterback and the head coach talk on a Thursday or Wednesday before each game. So, you got those conversations I'm pretty sure have been had, and, it didn't work out, and it worked out for Odell, and you see what's going on with the Browns now. So
still wish he was in Green Bay though. Still wish he went to Green Bay, but hey,
I'm surprised you say that.
Well, I mean, it would have gave us a nice number 2.
It's okay. Listen, I wish he was in New England. That's fine.
Facts. Vikings just they're gonna continue to be in the middle of the pack. Like you said, they're a tease.
I also think this game really shows how valuable Dalvin Cook is. Without Dalvin Cook, this Vikings team will go nowhere.
So what do you mean? Alexander Madison's a top 20 running back, I've been told. Leonard Fournette isn't, though.
Well, if Alexander Madison was, they would have won the game. But guess what? He ain't, and they didn't. And also, when did Alex
smarter every week? By the way,
and also, did Alexander Madison ever have a playoff Lenny-like run? No. Did he ever get 4 touchdowns in a single game? No.
Yeah,
is he sitting at 11-4? No. Is he below 500? Yup. Will he miss the playoffs again? Yup.
Listen, I'm just saying, I basically look smarter every single week. It's just unbelievable how
Lamar's crashing. Cam is crashing. Alexander
Josh
Madison,
Allen's
top
a god.
20. Debatable, but he's up there.
No, he's not. Top 5 quarterback. Let's see here.
All right, yeah, we got Eagles Giants. It was close in the first half.
3-3
I was shocked.
or something?
Yeah, it was 3-3.
Yeah, it was close because I know one of my co-hosts, Ben, he was livid because he was at the game and he was like, "Man, this team's terrible." I still can't believe the Eagles are in the playoff hunt.
And not in the hunt; they are in the playoffs at the moment.
I
know that's what I'm saying. I can't. Yeah, they are. They're in as a 70. I can't believe it. I thought this year they would only.
I had them at like 5 wins, bro. So. You don't got to tell me.
I think a lot of people had them as the worst team in the division. Definitely.
I didn't. I had a hot take that is pretty much irrelevant. I said the Eagles would finish in 3rd and the Giants would finish last. Safe to say the Giants look to be well on the way to finish last.
Man, I hate to tell you, I don't know how much of a hot take that was at the beginning anyway.
I mean, in the beginning of the season before week 1, it was there.
Giants suck, we know this.
Well, I mean, the Giants were slightly hot. They made a move and got Golladay. Saquon was
the Giants. Saquon's washed.
Well, I know. I know the Giants have pretty much whiffed on almost every single draft pick. They drafted a running back at 2 who's always hurt, and then they drafted the wrong lineman. They drafted Andrew Thomas when you could have had Tristan Wirfs. Yeah, they missed a lot. And then Kenny Galladay decided to go from one purgatory franchise to another. Mans did not improve at all.
That's what we call a tough life. That's what we call a tough life.
And then it also doesn't help when the Giants draft another receiver in Kadarius Toney when you just signed Galladay in the offseason. So vintage Giants moment.
Yeah, tough for New York sports, hands for sure.
Hey, except the Yankees.
Shout out the Yankees.
Yeah, except the Yankees.
Except the Yankees
and the Nets. And the Nets.
And then the Nets too.
The Nets. Knicks on the come up though.
Kemba out here looking like cardiac.
Hey, cardiac Kemba's had some good games though. No cap.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Not that impressed, but okay.
Hey, they made the playoffs last year though, just to get stunned by Trae Young's bald.
Yeah, again, I'm not really impressed, bro. But we got the Colts and the
CJ
Cardinals.
really the Grinch, bro. When the Knicks win the game, he's like, not impressed. No Trae Young.
I mean, they just beat the Timberwolves with no Cat, no Anthony Edwards. I'm supposed to get hype about that.
Well,
no D'Angelo Russell. Come on, bro. And they almost lost.
Windows, right?
They won by 8 and almost lost. Like it was like they were down.
See,
they were up.
This is
were
why I
up 4
like
or like 2
CJ.
minutes
CJ's
left.
kind of like me in that term as well. We don't
Well,
get
no.
overhyped
He's
for
you
certain
when it
things.
comes to the Knicks. He's you when it comes to the
Nah,
Knicks.
yeah, that's true. I think CJ gets a little happier about the Pats than I do.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Definitely.
I want to see whenever the Knicks win a playoff series. I want to see what CJ's like because I know CJ's going to be jumping up and down through the roof. We might even see him on Side Talk if
CJ, I'll say this, bro. CJ, I'll say this: if there's ever a Game 7 situation that the Knicks
he's
are
there.
in,
He's
I
there.
don't care. No. I don't care. I'm pulling up on you, bro.
Bro,
for sure.
If it happens, it's a big if because
if it ever happens, I'm sliding.
For sure, bro. But I really don't see it. I don't see it. But
You won't see it because you'll get the series done in 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Yeah, nah, not at all, man. And the reason why I trust the Pats more is because Pats have Belichick.
We got a little bit of history there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's not even a discussion. It's apples and oranges when it talks about success. But we got the Colts and the Cardinals. Cardinals were on a 2-game losing streak coming in this game, and I thought this opportunity for them to win this one. Darius Leonard was out with safe and out protocols, COVID. Quinn Nelson, Ryan Kelly. I'm like, okay, this is the win for Arizona. Arizona could come out here and get this W, make a statement, and the offense was just extremely stagnant all game. They weren't able to get anything going, and just the Colts made enough plays. They made enough plays. The defense really stepped up. Jonathan Taylor continued to play at a high level. Definitely got to put him top 3, top 2, however you want to put him in MVP, but he's definitely in that discussion, hands down, for what he's been doing. Wentz is just solid. Like he just has to be solid. If he's just
Annapolis.
If he's just solid, that's enough for them to have a potentially win a playoff game because the way Taylor is running, even without having 2 of their best offensive linemen in there and Ryan Kelly and Quinn Nelson, they're going to be a formidable team because the way they play travels. You could go on the road and get a dub. You could go. You don't want to go to Lucas Oil them playing how they play. So it's going to be tough to stop. And then the Cardinals, I mean, it's crazy. I thought when they got Kyler back, they were gonna, go on this nice streak and start getting some W's, and it's kind of, been the exact opposite. So they were the 1 seed for a minute, for a good while. We're like, yo, this might be one of the best teams, and now they're starting to lose.
First of all,
I actually got some. I could actually answer his question.
Yeah, you go ahead because I'm not the college guy.
Yeah, I got some bowl games to look forward to. Definitely some sleepers. Definitely got to tune into Oklahoma versus Oregon. I feel like the Alamo Bowl Wednesday, December 29th. That'll be an interesting game just to see how both teams will look with their different head coaching situations, and 2, it's just Oklahoma versus Oregon. It's going to be exciting there. Also, you always got to tune into the CFP semis. That's a no-brainer. Get to see Alabama. You get to see Bama beat the brakes off of Cincinnati probably by 30 points. And then you're probably going to see Georgia fans cry again when, Go Blue Michigan is going to beat the crap out of them, because Georgia knows how to choke. Hey, yo.
That's going to be the semis is going to be Michigan, Georgia is going to be
the only good game.
game.
I will say the Flow Show pod. The only CFP semi game to look forward to is Georgia versus Michigan, because Cincy and Bama is going to be over at half. Cincy's going to get run through.
God, I pray that
ran
Cincinnati
through like a
wins that
train,
game.
dude. It's going to be over. The whole Group of 5 conference, when they get beaten down by Alabama, there won't be another word of Group of 5 belonging in the CFP ever again. After their beatdown, that's going to be put on Alabama, because they're always going to be fourth. They're always going to be fourth, and they're always going to be matched up against Bama or Georgia, and they're just going to get run through. It's just that plain and simple. Other games to look forward to, though, I would definitely have to say you got to tune into the Rose Bowl, Utah versus Ohio State, just because it's the Rose Bowl. Sleeper game, Clemson, Iowa State. I mean, it's an interesting game. I mean, unless you want to see DJ Uiagalelei, just to see how their defense, how the Clemson will be their defense without their D coordinator, because he'll be the new head coach of Oklahoma. So if you want to see that, that would be your best route. But overall, just other games to tune into, just Iowa versus Kentucky. I know Unwrapped Sports is going to have a big part of that, because Garrett from Iowa, big Iowa fan, and Michael, big Kentucky fan. So going to have a little bit of that here and there. Also, I will say the only other 2 games will be the Rose Bowl and then the Sugar Bowl. Sugar Bowl, you got Hotty Toddy Ole Miss and Baylor. That's going to be an interesting one. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss versus Baylor. And those are just overall the college games to look forward to. I know some of us aren't big into college, but I will say, as Connie raises his hand, but those will be the only bowl games to sleeper ones that'll be good. The only good ones to pay attention to are when it gets like late December, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Those are like the games to tune into, because that's when you'll get the best of the best.
I did watch Army in their bowl game. That was fun. But other than that, I don't know. I just can't. I think it's because I'm from New York. I really do.
Yeah.
CJ, are you into college football?
Hey, I will say, while I'm on the New York subject,
are?
Rutgers did make it to the bowl game. They were.
This is true. They were a replacement team. So I don't know, like CJ. I feel like
I'm a college. Yeah, I know New York football is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
football.
we don't have. There's like no team here that's like
good. That is true. Rutgers is
What am I going to do? Go root for Syracuse?
I'm just I'm just a fan of football, and I found obviously pro football first, and then I started to watch a little bit more college as I got older, and then also the draft too. That's what made me watch college more. Knowing the players, and then seeing who's up next, who's going to be those next guys that's going to make an impact in the league. So after that, I was like, me watching the draft, I was like, I need to watch college a little bit more, and that's how I started to become a fan of it. But I don't really have a favorite team though. I don't have.
You know what? I will say the one New York Bowl to tune into is the Wake Forest versus Rutgers New Year's Eve at a nice, cool 11 a.m. Eastern.
But have you been to the Pinstripe Bowl?
I was literally just about to say that. I know the Pinstripe Bowl's tomorrow. I haven't been there. No.
Yeah, it was good. I went there a few times.
This year is Maryland versus Virginia Tech. Both are 6-6.
Maybe I should see if my boy wants to go. He went to Maryland.
Yeah. When you get a chance, bro, just check them out. Like, I think going to a college game, even if like you're not, a fan of the college or ever didn't go to the college, it changed the atmosphere for sure.
See, that's my thing, right? He says New York has no real college team. I feel like college football isn't played the same in the Big Ten compared to the SEC.
Oh, and I will say I do have a thing with the SEC. My sister goes to LSU. It's completely different down the SEC, down in Louisiana. Tough. It's LSU or nothing. She was there. She was there when they won the Natty in 2019. Oh, it was epic. They had a whole parade. They had a whole parade and everything. Oh, I will say, if you follow the LSU Barstool account, it's quite a scene. I mean, LSU is something else. Even just the whole SEC as a whole. Just if you want a school like just related just for football, that's like where you watch the best of the best. That's where you get to see your Amari Coopers, your Julio Jones.
See, I have always. That's the thing. Though, I have always wanted to go to
your
a
Gritty
college
Jeffersons.
game and experience it, because like I want to go to like an Ohio State game, like or a Michigan game, and or like things or anything like that where like the stadium has like 400,000 people in it. It seems like, because like bro, the only college game I've gone to is Army. Because Army West Point's like an hour from me, so I've been to a few
Army versus Navy.
I have not been to an Army Navy game. I've been to just like normal Army whenever they're playing some random team that they end up playing. I've been to that and it's fun. Like Army, does their whole like pregame introduction. Everybody comes onto the field. It's really cool. Like I am an atmosphere person. Like I really do enjoy like fun atmosphere. So like I'm sure I would enjoy a college football game. But like you said, bro, like there's just no New York college football team, and like nobody in my family has ever gone to like a big college football school. Like so I don't have one to like just like pay attention to and actually care about. And like I feel like I don't know, like because at this point, like I have my teams and I feel like adding one in is just like I don't know which one to pick.
Yeah, it's kind of too late. And Connie, I did a research. The one word where Logan threw it earlier, decorum. It's basically like it's like a property, like for example, like an etiquette. It's like when they're talking about like, oh, no decorum, it's like no etiquette.
Going to the Clemson Iowa State games. That's why I asked the question. Was just at the Florida UCF game on Thursday. Oh, my man's out here going to all the bowl games.
I'm actually going to one too. I'm going to the Kansas State LSU bowl game, the Texas Bowl, January 4th.
Nice.
Yeah, because that's like that. I'm just like, yo, when is the LSU ever going to be in like Houston playing in the Texas Bowl? When Brian Kelly comes to town, they'll probably be in like the bigger ones, like the. Maybe like the Sugar Bowls or something soon. So I'm just like, hey, they're in Houston, NRG Stadium. I'm only 2.5 hours away. Why not?
I don't blame you.
Yeah, let's get into some more of the Christmas games. I know Colts, Cardinals. Cardinals did what the Cardinals do. They look like the Phoenix Suns in the finals, just blowing leads, choking leads. Looking like Brittany Rayner out there. Just blowing it out there. And we'll see if the Cardinals can get things together because, they got the Cowboys next week, and then you got the Seahawks week 18, and that's just you. I don't know what's wrong with the Cardinals. They did this last year. Last year they were 5-2, and they finished 8-8. This year they were 7-0, clearly front in the NFC. And then AJ Green's controller died, and it looked like the whole team died as well because they've lost 5 of the last 8 games. I mean, when you lose rock bottom to the Lions by double digits, and then you lay a goose egg to the Colts, I mean and you also have to look at it. I watched that game because I did color cast on that game. They had so many miscues. We're talking 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point, 8 or so penalties, a safety in the game. So they shot themselves in the foot in that game. The Cardinals could have easily won this game. They easily could have. But because they had self-mistakes and because Matt Prater looked like he was old, they lost the game. And, in my honest opinion, they might have lost the division. You look at with that loss, they're now a game behind the Rams. You lost to the Rams already, just a couple weeks ago. So it's not like you had any leverage. And, now you're probably going to have no home game. That game that against the Colts right there just probably cost you a home game. And now you probably got to travel to Dallas or Tampa. And, it's going to be very hard to do. Very hard to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like I thought the Cardinals were on an easy course, to take off and probably win the division.
I will say, I'm sorry to interrupt. The only bright side is they clinched a playoff berth. That's about it.
They did.
Go ahead.
That is true. So they are officially in the playoffs. But yeah, it was definitely a situation that disappointed in them. Because I thought that they were on their way to the division and the first seed, and it looked like they were going to lock everything up early, and then it was just this 3-game skid. And you wonder once again if it's a situation where Kyler's 100%, because we kind of saw last year too where he got hurt at one point, and then he came back but didn't really look like he was healthy. And he was playing much better, earlier on in the year than he is now. And, obviously Hopkins going out, I think we forget that, like, how big of a piece Hopkins actually is, to their team.
Did you say big huff a piece?
I did not.
I
said
misheard things then.
A big piece to their offense is what Hopkins is.
Okay, there you go.
And obviously he went out. James Conner wasn't available for this game, so everybody's dealing with some things, but I don't know, man. The Cardinals have gone from like I thought they were a lock conference championship team to like
a one and done.
Do you make it out of the first round type of situation? And I'm curious to see what happens.
Could this possibly be a Cliff Kingsbury problem too? Because I mean, you look at the last 2 years, it's been the same story. They were 5-2, then they fall to 8-8, and now this year they're 7-0, and now they're 10-5, and on their way to a 5th seed.
I don't know. It can be a lot of things. Is it the players not playing up? Because I feel like we're so fast to blame coaches all the time too. But sometimes it is a player situation. Like, what is Cliff Kingsbury going to do when Kyler Murray's throwing 3 interceptions against the Rams? Like, what is he going to do? Go in there for quarterback? Like, what do you want him to do? So you always got to look at things like that too. If it's just a situation where the team is struggling, or if it maybe it is a coaching situation, maybe it is. I don't know. It's just a hard situation, to say the least. And I don't know. It's interesting. But the Colts, man, who wants to play the Colts? I know.
Nobody, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody really wants to play the Colts. They've been unbelievable. Went to Annapolis, man. Like you said, just can't make his mistakes. He got COVID, but the new rules that just went into place today. Now you can come back from after 5 days, even if you had it, and instead of the 10. So it looks like he'll probably be able to play since he tested positive on a Monday. You got Jonathan Taylor. I mean, like you said, CJ, they're winning without big pieces of their offensive line, and which is crazy because Jonathan Taylor's still putting up yards and putting up some numbers, man. It's a crazy situation. I didn't see the Jonathan Taylor breakout year coming. I didn't. I'll be honest. I saw, a lot of people, thinking he was going to be good for fantasy or something this year, but I didn't think he was going to end up being third in the MVP conversation. I'll say that.
Neither did I, man. And he's playing at a high level. Got to give him a lot of credit. Got to give Frank Reich and Vic Ballard in that offense and the GM a lot of credit as well while they've been playing in the second half of the season. All right, we got the other Christmas Day game. Got the Packers and the Browns. We'll start with Matt. Matt. We'll get his venting on, rant on.
Oh boy.
And,
okay.
Let us know how he feels about this game. First half was great for Green Bay, and then got a little stagnant there in the second half. But shake and bake, just throwing it to the other team, doing his thing, and they were able to still come out and get this W, much needed W for Green Bay. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, 100% agree, CJ. The first half was all record breaking. You heard Aaron Rodgers break Brett Favre's touchdown record for most passing touchdowns in a Packers uniform with 443. He threw it to Alan Lazard. He then went onto the Jumbotron, basically stating, congratulations for breaking my record. And then he said, now go get us a Super Bowl. He said that out there. And just overall, I don't know what happened to our offense in the second half. Only scoring 3 points in the second half. When you got to play Tampa, when you got to play the Rams in the playoffs, you ain't going to win doing that. But this is the Browns. I want to thank Baker Mayfield for gifting us those 4 interceptions because that pretty much won us a game. We scored 21 points off of those 4 interceptions, and his 4th interception was when we iced the game. So just want to thank Baker Mayfield for that. I also want to thank this Packers front office for giving Rasul Douglas a chance because now he's got 5 interceptions for us, and he's had about 3 games where his interception pretty much either won the game or sealed the deal, whether it was Arizona when A.J. Green's controller died, whether it's getting a pick 6 on Matt Stafford, and then getting the game-winning interception off of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And I also don't want to hear any refs missing any holding calls. It was a clean play Both
You're on
players,
crack.
Both players were going at it, Anthony. See, Donovan Peoples-Jones initiated contact, went to the side.
You think that is a clean play? You are off the pack.
It's near the end of the game. It's week 16. You're battling, and Mayfield missed the throw. He missed the throw by a yard. If that throw was closer, Connie, I would say, yeah, throw the flag. But he missed the throw.
Maybe he got missed by a yard because the wide receiver couldn't get there.
Nah, Donovan Peoples-Jones could have got there. He didn't have what Rasul Douglas had. He didn't have the difference maker mentality.
So you're saying that's not PI?
No, I would say it's a hold. It's not a PI, but
either way, it's a first down.
I mean, hey, you take it and you run. I'm taking that and I'm running.
Yeah,
I'm running with
I
it.
would,
you know,
I would too.
We're 12-3. We got away from that game. I will say our run defense is starting to become a problem now. I don't know how you allow 200 plus rushing yards to the entire Browns run game, because that's all they were doing. Your literal only job was to stop Nick Chubb, and you failed to do that. And it all started with the first play of the game when it was a dink and dunk pass for Chubb, and he goes for 40 yards. That's when I knew, oh boy, we're gonna be in some trouble here.
On the ball more.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm questioning too. But then again, it's the same old Browns. Just when you think they have something going, they take 2 steps back.
Well, yeah, they tried to, but Baker kept
throwing us 4 picks.
Giving it to the other team.
Yeah. I will always thank him for giving those 4 picks. But yeah, overall, that was just an ugly game for the Packers. But the old saying is a win is a win. I'll take this one for sure. And I will say that 12-3 record right now that the Green Bay Packers have, it's looking very favorable for my buddy, Mr. Ryan Reynolds, Matt LaFleur, for Coach of the Year. You know,
I think so.
He's looking right up there. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury's slumping. Bill Belichick is slumping. Packers are looking good at 12-3. I mean, hey, what's funny is I put a $10 bet for Matt LaFleur to win Coach of the Year, and it had a chance to win me $250. Right now, it's looking pretty good. We're at 12-3. Now, our wins have been ugly, but the old saying is Coach of the Year, they look at your wins. You have the best record in all of football right now, 12-3. That's looking pretty good. You know, obviously, we got 2 more weeks. You got the Vikings next week at Lambeau Sunday night, which the weather is going to be awesome. It's going to be 0 degrees with a negative 10-degree wind chill, vintage Green Bay weather. And then you got the sad old Lions week 18. You know, maybe we because we could actually clinch the 1 seed if we beat the Vikings, and if the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, Packers clinch the 1 seed. And then we could rest our starters for week 18 and maybe give the Lions a 3rd win. But overall, that was just a game, like you mentioned, CJ. It was a very sloppy offensive second half. I don't know what happened to our offense. I know it cannot happen again. And, you know, that's just a win's a win, and I'll take it. You know, Baker Mayfield gave us 4 picks. And, you know, Rasul Douglas may have gone away with a hold on Donovan Peoples-Jones. And I'll take that and on to Minnesota. I will say it did look like it. When I looked at the when I saw that replay, Connie, I was like, "Ooh, we got away with that one," but I don't care. I'm taking it in the running. We're 12-3, 1 step closer to 1 seed. I'll take it. You'd have the same reaction too if the Pats got away with something.
I said I agree with you, but to say it wasn't a PI, you're bugging. But yeah, I mean, this was the story of Baker Mayfield and his 4 interceptions, right?
I had to have him in fantasy because he was my only reliable quarterback.
Did almost have 5. Definitely, probably his worst career performance, I would say. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I also don't know if his shoulder is fully healthy. Like, we truly don't know if Baker Mayfield is fully healthy now. You know, obviously he's still bad, but it's just like, I mean, is he this bad? Like,
no, I don't think he's this bad. That's the thing too. You know, Mark Sanchez, terrible quarterback, by the way. I looked up his numbers today. I can't believe how bad he was, but great analyst on Fox, man. I love listening to him talk about football.
And he did have 2 good years with the Jets. And he helped orchestrate the aforementioned butt fumble.
Good years is still a stretch. I think he has like a 54% complete career completion percentage.
Well, no. I'm saying 2 good years when he went into back-to-back AFC.
Oh no, I know, but he was still terrible. Anyway, CJ, what
pretty much based off of defense.
No, I was going to say the mid players are usually the ones that turn out to be good analysts.
Dan Orlovsky. fantastic.
Solid, yeah. Marcus Spears pretty solid. You know, he wasn't great in the NFL, but he's he brings energy on NFL life.
I would say Damian Woody, but I mean he did a little something.
He did win those Super Bowls with the Pats.
Yeah, I think he made a couple Pro Bowls.
Yeah, he made a couple Pro Bowls. Yeah, he did.
So,
he did.
You know,
Damian Woody was relevant.
But hey, by the way, if any of them want to come on the show, you know where to find me. But yeah, I mean,
just use your boy Trey Wingo. Tell Trey Wingo to hook us up with some guests. Did you also interview like Michael K, or was it
Don LaGreca? It was Don LaGreca of the Michael K show.
Nice.
I was just saying you should try working away from Michael K too whenever baseball season decides to emerge.
Yeah, listen, I'm trying, man. Out here trying. Well, who are we praising? Who are we praising?
Who? Don LaGreca?
No, I can't be, because Don LaGreca is a New York legend.
I was gonna say, I wonder who. I mean, unless if it's like Rex Ryan or somebody, I don't know.
Oh, maybe Mark Sanchez.
Oh, it had to be Mark Sanchez. Yeah.
Listen, he's a good analyst. He was a terrible quarterback.
Probably giving Vic some flashbacks of the butt fumble.
Terrible quarterback. Bro, terrible. Listen, Vic, I said terrible quarterback, good analyst. We can separate the arts. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was the Baker interception game, and they still only won, or they lost by 2 points. I don't know if that says more about the Browns or says more about the Packers too. Like,
that was definitely the Packers. All Packers in the second half.
What are we doing here? You're only winning by 2 points when your defense gets four turnovers. I'm getting a little NFC Championship game. Flashbacks here.
The thing is, no. What's different is in the NFC Championship game, we had 3 turnovers and only got 6 points. We had 4 turnovers this game and got 21 points. That's just all we relied on. We only relied on his takeaways. Our offense didn't do anything else. That's the difference. Our offense did a little bit of something in the championship game, but we couldn't cash in on turnovers. This game, we cashed in on turnovers, failed to move out an offense. I don't know what happened in the second half. I don't know if, when Rodgers just broke Favre's record, our offense was like, all right, we did our kumbaya. Let's all take a break here in the second half. Let's just only get 3 points. And, let's just not stop Nick Chubb.
It happens.
It happens. It does. And, for the Browns' sake, I saw a report on ESPN talking about there's rumors, but, I don't know how the truth to them, but saying that Browns could be looking at a quarterback in the market in the offseason.
I mean, hey, if the right one strikes, go for it. Like, if you could find a way to get Russ, or if you could find a way to get, Deshaun Watson, go for it. Go get him. Because
I think any team should go after Deshaun Watson. I think there's like 4 teams in the NFL that shouldn't go after Deshaun Watson. I really do.
Ooh, we got on the color cast. They said
looking for a new coach or manager.
I wouldn't say a new coach yet. I wouldn't.
We're out on Stefanski.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on Stefanski yet. I would say maybe a new GM, but then again, like
that GM didn't draft Baker.
Yeah.
Though.
Here's
Andrew Berry didn't draft Baker. That was what's his guy? Dorsey? John Dorsey?
Yeah, John Dorsey did. Yeah. And then there's like wrecking players so fast. What I would say is if you do move on from the head coach and you do move on for the GM, but if you still have the same record of 7-8, then what would you have accomplished? It's the same thing what I've been saying about the Rams. If the Rams don't make it to the championship game or the Super Bowl, then why would you trade for Stafford? Because you could do the same thing with Jared Goff.
See, my thing is like we give the Ravens a pass because they have so many injuries, and I'm not giving them a pass at all. But this team, in my eyes, there's no way that they're not a better team if Baker isn't so hurt. Like this dude is literally playing with no shoulder, both of his feet, basically. So
here's what I will say: if we had to go up against. If we had to go up against a healthy Baker Mayfield, we would have lost that game on Christmas Day. If Baker Mayfield was fully healthy, we would have lost that game 100%. Same thing if we would have played the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. If we had to play Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, we would have lost that game as well. And instead of us being at 12-3, we would have been sitting there at 10-5, being desperate at the 4 seed. But hey, sometimes the NFL injuries happen. They're a part of the game, and you just got to take it and run.
That's it. That's it, man. And that's exactly what you guys did. And then we got the final game, Thursday Night Football, 49ers versus the Titans. 49ers, man. I feel like they dropped the ball on this one, man. If you look at the numbers and without watching the game, you're like, oh, Jimmy had a pretty solid game, but
nah, dude, Jimmy was terrible.
Yeah, watching this game, like 2 turnovers.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Anybody who's like a big Trey Lance believer, they're gonna look at this game film and say, "This is why Trey Lance should start."
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to get the start next year. The team he will definitely get the keys next year. It's been said, it's been reported by the top insiders, and it just makes the most sense. So we'll see what happens next year. But right now, I think a lot of people. I thought they were really going to be on the right track. They definitely had this game for sure. I mean, it was 10-zip. 49ers were up 10-zip, but they just couldn't capitalize on the stagnant offense from the Titans in the first half, and then in the second half, he said though.
Yeah, this is on the Mark Sanchez. This is.
I know it hurts. I know it hurts, Vic. I know, man. Being a Jets fan, dropped the ball. Yeah, you did. He did, and that's why the 49ers got all those picks and tried to go get Trey Lance with the third pick in the draft. Because they want a dynamic guy. They want a difference maker under center. And Jimmy definitely dropped the ball. But not only is he hurting his chances from the 49ers standpoint this year, also for another team. Another team may be a little bit hesitant in picking him up or feel like, he may not be that missing piece we need to win games. He may not be that guy. It's very possible. But I think he's still good enough to be a starter at this point.
Oh yeah.
It's just you're gonna need other things around him to succeed. Even though it's probably the best team he's had. And you could argue that the Super Bowl year. You could say the Super Bowl year, but I feel like from a skill position standpoint,
definitely not the Super Bowl year. Not the Super Bowl year. The Super Bowl year they had Bosa with Buckner, with D Ford, with the healthy Richard Sherman,
that's
with the
on
healthy
defense.
Fred Warner. Well, just from a defensive, with a whole team standpoint, that Super Bowl run team was way better suited than this Niners team right now.
Yeah, defensively, yeah, I would say it's better. But offensively, you got Kittle, you got Debo. Debo's is playing at a top 5 wide receiver.
Also that Super Bowl year, you also had Kendrick Bourne, who was very utilized on the offense. You also had healthy running backs and Raheem Mostert and Telvin Coleman. Like that Super Bowl team was way more complete than this Niners team. Like this Niners team, the only highlight is Debo snatching chains. And Kittle just cooking defenses like it's 2019 again.
Yeah, I mean, and also it doesn't matter who you put at running back over there either, because the scheme, the offensive line is excellent. You got Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson. Doesn't matter. They're able to run the football successfully. So, but yeah, big win for the Titans. They stay right there in the top seeds in the AFC. And it's a tough loss for the 49ers.
It definitely is. And also, one last thing I'll say about the Niners-Titans game is that was a bad loss for the Niners just because of a simple fact. Now they don't control their own destiny. If they would have beat Tennessee, they would have had at least a game leverage on teams like Philadelphia. But now that you're at the same level as Philly, now you can't have a hiccup. And your next 2 games, you got the Texans who might F around and pull another upset. And then you got to play the LA Rams at SoFi. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. And if you finish, with 9-8, like that's going to be, this is going to be right there. It's going to be.
Man, Vic, always throwing shots, bro. Vic, pull up to the show.
Not the NFL, little Anthony, man. And I will say, I'm very, and I'm very disappointed in Jimmy G. I had this saying, I like to call him my porn star Jimmy. That was like his nickname. Whether it was Stephen A. Smith throwing it out there, because I thought he would be good this year. Because you drafted Trey Lance, you want to prove your worth, and I think that was the last game where, all right, Jimmy, and I think Shanahan is Trey Lance starting week 17? I'm not sure if it's like rumors or anything, but there could be rumors that they might just F around and just throw out Trey Lance against Houston. And after Jimmy Garoppolo playing, I might say, why not? Why not throw in Trey Lance week 17 against the Texans? You got nothing else to lose. Well, I mean, never mind. You do got something to lose. You got a playoff spot to lose.
That's usually an important thing. Boys,
All right, we got the
I
week
was gonna say.
17. Yeah, let's just go right to the picks right now. We got the week 17 picks speed round. We got
Speed
Eagles.
round.
We got we got Eagles Washington. Connie, you got.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. It's in Washington, but they're just a mess.
Yeah, rolling with Philadelphia. Matt, who you going with?
Yeah, 100% as well. Give me Philly. Philly's on the upward. Washington's on the downward. Their benches don't work. Their stadium is a mess. They got poop water going down. The whole team's a mess. You know, they're 6-9, which is nice in other terms, but not for Washington.
All right, we got the Rams and the Ravens. I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, that's light work.
Yep, light work. Give me Rams. Rams are healthier, and they're battling to maintain the NFC West.
Bucks,
Yo,
Jets.
Connie, will you be at that game?
I'm still thinking about it.
Bucks.
Still
Bucks,
thinking about it.
Got the Bucks and the Jets. It's easy. Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Yeah, give me Tampa as well. It's too easy. I mean, now I will say if the Jets pull off the upset, this would be the biggest upset of the season.
It's not gonna happen.
I know it's not, but I'm just saying if.
Brady losing to the Jets, never.
Nah. All right, we got the Dolphins and the Titans. I think this is a big game. Big game for both teams. I'm going
biggest game of the week.
You know, listen. I mean, my Patriot fan in me wants to go Titans. You know what I mean? Dolphins are playing good football. I'm gonna go Tennessee, bro. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Tennessee does enough.
I'm gonna go with the Titans for a different reason, and it's only because the game is at home. That's the only reason.
I'd say 100%. Give me the Tennessee Titans as well. It's in Tennessee. I think Tennessee's also looking at this game. We could clinch the division. They're going to clinch the division and go from there. And this next game is obviously a no-brainer. We all know what all three of us are picking.
Yeah, clean sweep. Got the Pats, Jags, Raiders, and the Colts. I'm going with the Colts.
Yeah, as much as I want the Raiders in the playoffs for Derek Carr's mental health, I'm still going with the Colts.
Yeah, give me the Colts. Give me the Colts as well. It's in Lucas Oil. I would say if it were in Vegas, maybe differently, but Colts, they're too good right now. Jonathan Taylor's playing like an MVP.
Chiefs, Bengals.
This might be the game of the week.
It might be game of the week. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, those other games are kind of mid, to be honest.
That Dolphins Titan game going to be interesting.
Yeah, but from a quarterback standpoint.
Oh,
think,
no.
Yeah,
of course.
This one's definitely. I'm gonna go.
You want to be daring and go on the hot take upset route?
Would it be an upset though?
I mean, one's 9-6, one's 11-4, and also the Chiefs have won 8 straight.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm gonna go Kansas City, bro.
I think I picked Kansas City on Gen Z, so I'm gonna pick the Bengals here because I feel like it. And I'm mostly no. But here's the thing. Here's the difference, right? Me and CJ forgot to keep track of our picks, so it doesn't matter as much who I pick on here. But I remember. But me and Josh keep track, so I got to make sure that I pick games that I got to really think. But this one, if I'm picking with my heart, I really want the Bengals to win. And why not? I think they're going to give the Chiefs defense some trouble. They're going to run the ball with Mixon. Jamar Chase out there. I think big game. Joe Burrow, 325. No, Joe Burrow's passing for 342. 3 touchdowns. Calling it right now.
Ooh. Could you now? I will say, if those exact stakes happen, what will you do if that same exact prediction happens? If he exactly goes for 342 and exactly gets 3 touchdowns,
I'm playing the lotto.
Will there be any rushing touchdowns or just 3 passing?
No, I think Mixon gets one.
Mixon gets one. All right, give me the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, they're just too good right now, and I think the Bengals, that defense is going to run out of gas just for a game.
All right, Giants, Bears. I got Chicago.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bears because it's at home.
Yeah, I mean this game's terrible. I mean, both teams are terrible. I mean, you look at this is pretty much the Giants Bowl here. I mean, the Giants got the Bears pick and their own pick. So, I mean, it's one of those to where do you want to tank your pick or do you want to improve your pick and tank the Bears? I mean, you could go either way. I am going with. I mean, it's tough. I'm going with the Chicago Bears. It's at home. If Nick Foles starts again, I think Nick Foles is going to mess around and get another win. And, we'll see what happens. We got Christian here saying Connie eating a big egg and cheese tomorrow, parlayed with Nana's cutlets this weekend, is paying plus 770.
Yeah, let me tell you something. A fat bacon, egg, and cheese would sound wonderful right now. Nice little midnight bacon, egg, and cheese.
From where?
From the crib.
Crib style is gonna be good.
I don't need no ock. I got the crib.
I got the crib. Hey, maybe make that into a t-shirt.
I got the crib.
This game might be a clean sweep as well.
Yeah, this is a sweep. I think these next two are sweeps, even though the Texans shocked the Chargers. I got the Bills versus the Falcons, and I got the 49ers versus the Texans.
Yeah, I got Bills and Niners too. For the Niners, I don't think it matters who they start, whether Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. It's going to be a dub either way.
Connie lives in New York, never eat at any of the iconic places. Bro, I'll tell you where the iconic place is. My nan's kitchen.
Yeah, because they got the cutlets, bro.
Bro, do you know what I had on Christmas, bro? I had stuffed shells and prime rib. Where are you getting that in the city, bro?
That sounds like some Sopranos type stuff right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you ever been to Joe's? Ever been to Joe's Pizza?
Nah.
You gotta pull up, bro.
CJ, I'm telling you, one of these days, CJ, I'm gonna pull up to the city.
Yo, so wait. So
what
you're saying is CJ will pull up to Anthony for the Nance cutlets, and then Anthony will pull up to CJ for Joe's Pizza and just tour around the city.
I'm with that, bro.
Bro, my nan will cook for anything walking.
Home cooked meal is definitely needed, bro. 1,000%.
My nan will cook for anything walking. Ask any of her neighbors.
Lessons. All right, we got an AFC West showdown. Broncos, Chargers. I got the Chargers. That's gonna be a close game, division, but I got. I was about to say San Diego. I got Los Angeles.
Yeah, I got the Chargers too. I think they bounced back from that ugly loss last week.
Yeah, give me the Chargers as well. Herbie's gonna bounce back. They're gonna get the W.
Saints, Panthers. Sheesh. I'm gonna go New Orleans. I think New Orleans just makes some more stops. I think they get a turnover for a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. The Panthers just suck.
Mm-hmm.
Lombardi's Pizza on fourth between first and
100%. Give me the New Orleans Saints. As long as Ian Book isn't starting, I think the Saints are gonna get a win. And then for the Panthers, I mean, who do you want? You want Ghost Man? You want washed up Cam? Or you want XFL MVP? I mean, that smells like doo-doo to me. It's garbage. Give me the Saints.
I'm crying. Seahawks, Lions. I got Seattle.
Yeah, give me Seattle. Although I'm not surprised that this game is close.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know why this game is at 1:25 Pacific time on Fox. You got to switch that to like a 1 o'clock game. That doesn't have the worthy of it being a 1:25 Fox game. Just get that out of there. It's trash. Give me the Seahawks. Both teams garbage.
Cardinals, Cowboys. One team going a certain way, the other going a different way. I'm gonna go Dallas. I like their defense in these last few weeks. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think the Cardinals are gonna play with a little bit more urgency, but I got the Cowboys.
You know what? Give me the Cowboys too, because like I said, if they're going to prove it, this is the week to do it. So prove to me that they're a Super Bowl team. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'd say give me the Cowboys as well. Cardinals are rock bottom. They don't have D-Hop. They seem to be terrible without DeAndre Hopkins. Also, Cliff Kingsbury is terrible right now. I think Dallas gets a win. And, we'll see what happens. We obviously know who Vic is going for. He said Cardinals, fuck the lame boys. But those lame boys are 11-4, and your Jets are far in the gutter. So it's gonna be very interesting. But big time is coming for the Jets soon. You might have 2 top 10 picks. Hopefully you don't fuck it up. Sunday Night Football. You already know who I'm
somehow the Vikings, they always play well against. This is the only team they play solid against.
All I know is if Dalvin Cook ain't playing, we at least winning by 10. If Dalvin Cook is playing, we'll either lose by 3 or win by 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got Green Bay by a touchdown.
Yeah, see, you remember CJ earlier in the year, I predicted the Vikings to beat the Packers, but that was in Minnesota.
Right.
So I'll go with the
Minnesota,
Packers.
eh?
I'll go with the Packers in this one.
All right, and you also have a Colorcast comment. Christian said you could get that at literally any Buca di Beppo chain across the country. That's some disrespect right there.
Yeah, listen, you can get it, but
is it Nans worthy though?
But it's not. Listen, don't you worry. Don't you worry about where I'm getting my food from, Nan.
Okay,
I'm chilling.
He said the Jets are a glorious spoiler team. Well, then beat the Bucks for me, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Hey, Christian said, Connie, I'll pull up if your city feed me.
Yo, pull up, Christian. I've been said that. Yeah, I know you're Mr. Big Money Bags. Go hop on a flight, pull up to New York, and I got you.
Yeah, hit up Anthony, and then Anthony and Christian will go meet up with CJ, and then bam, we got a trifecta.
Facts. Have a little USM meetup. You feel me?
Yeah, New York edition. And then you got to try Nan's cutlets and then compare it to Joe's Pizza or Lombardi's Pizza.
Facts.
I'm with it all.
And then we got last game, Monday Night Football. Browns.
Christian said bet, by the way.
Browns, Steelers. I don't know. I mean, I guess they thought these teams would be better down the road, but
I'll start off first.
No, I'm going to go Browns. I'm going Browns.
Browns.
All right, I'll go
Yeah,
first. I'm gonna lay out the headlines. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last home game for Ben Roethlisberger at Heinz.
True.
He's gonna go out there, look vintage, somehow probably throw for maybe 270, 280, get about tours. I'm talking Super Bowl 43 vintage, not a present day stumbling over his own feet vintage, but just give me Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to find a way. The Browns are dead. I know Juju last year said same old Browns, but the same old Browns look to be back, and Browns are dead. Steelers are going to give fans false hope and give Mike Tomlin another 500 season.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. As I feel like they have the defense to stop the run, and I just don't think Baker's healthy enough for them to win the game.
You know what? I don't blame you. But that ends the show, people. And let me tell you something. It has been banishing Scourge to the Shadow Realm every 10 minutes is hilarious. Listen,
it's every 30. It's every 30
listen,
it expires.
I need a little update from Colorcast. Let me get, a forever part in the hot seat instead of a timer. But listen, people, I'm going to plug my stuff because it has been 2 hours and coming up on 45 minutes of doing this show. And that's a very long time. So with that being said, Anthony Conover _ on Twitter, Gen Z Sports for the pod, Monday, 7 Eastern, Generational Sports, me and my boy Josh, talking about everything in the sports world, fighting, MMA, all that, to football, to basketball, to I sneak in baseball if I can. Obviously, me and CJ do this every Tuesday at 9 Eastern. A little long one here, but hey, we have fun. We always do. Thursday, Backstop Banter, me and my boy Michael talk about everything in the baseball world. Obviously makes our life a little bit more difficult that there's a lockout going on right now, but hey, we make it through and we have fun as well. Anthony _ Conover on Twitch as well. I put all the pods up there, and make sure you check out all the pods. Leave a nice little review, leave a nice little rating on there, a nice little 5-star, and check me out. Colorcast as well, Anthony Conover, Conover USN, because I can't fit my full name. And then also, I gotta tell the people, of course, too. Download Underdog Fantasy. Use code Gen Z to double your first deposit up to $100. Get yourself some bread, over-unders. You can do drafts over there as well. A lot of fun.
Got CJames9 _ on Twitter. Guard Up Pod, covering all things NBA. CJ versus the World on Twitch. And CJames USN on Colorcast.
Say less. Next episode, we got you.
If you say less, Twitter handle down below at Matt _Skura, Instagram at Matt _Skura20. Both of those links in the bio have my sports podcast. I'm here at a great friend do called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things NBA and NFL related. You name it, it's available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, iHeartRadio. You name it, it's available everywhere. Also, check out Colorcast. My username is longest podcast bit. I don't know. Let's see. Like, are we talking like episode wise or what? But with that being said, follow my Colorcast username at Matt Skura USN. Like and subscribe to this Unwrapped Sports Network YouTube channel. If you want to see CJ's wet jump shot like you're seeing right now, hit up the hard count Tuesdays 9:00 Eastern. And we'll never see what happens. As always, it's a pleasure to be on the hard count. And hopefully our teams win week 17, and we'll go from there.
Well, people, with that being said, I am going to well, not me. We all will bid you a farewell, and we thank everybody for tuning in as per usual. Very long episode, so we appreciate all the people that stuck around. Vic, obviously Christian in the comments, Michael, everybody that tuned in. We appreciate all the love as per usual. And listen, people, we'll catch you on the next episode. You feel me?